Hello, everybody. Hope all is well on this Friday evening. Just finished. What a great night of streaming. What a great night of streaming. Started off with, what did I watch tonight? I watched a few things when I came home. Some You Always Win, one of my favorite channels, a zombie channel. They play a lot of Call of Duty. And then watched a few new comic books channels. And then I watched our good friend Comics with Bueller, who was at a Comic-Con and covered. That was a fun live chat. We had Uncle Ron's baseball game before that. And then we had Dave Little's basketball game. And we had Cylon John. So many great stuff on YouTube tonight that I watch. I'd just like to thank the YouTube community. And we should have a special guest at any moment, Moni G, the ginger that everyone loves, our favorite ginger, our favorite redhead. So we'll wait to see when she jumps in the chat. I will send her a link. Hope all is well on this Friday evening. How was everyone's week? And there's Moni G. Speak of the angel. So we shall send our good friend Moni G and paste. There you go, Moni. Click on that, my friend. And she says, give me 1 minute. Just give me 3 steps. Won't you give me 3 steps? I think that was Leonard Skinner. I just butchered that song. Play Freebird. Once again, we will have Moni G on the Chat with Al, a special presentation of Friday Chat with Al. Just finished watching Dave Little's basketball game between the Sebastian Stratton, Kenny Castro. As Ken Castro says, just wanted to say hello to Al and Moni G. Someday I'm going to get Ken on the show. Someday. Someday, someday, over the rainbow, we will have Ken Castro on. He is a sports writer extraordinaire from the great state of Rhode Island. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Kenny Castro, Sebastian Stratt, Comics with Bueller, the original Grognard. Such illuminate. Sam's Tangled Web. How you doing? Sam, you want to come on? We're going to get Sam on. Sam will come on. I love Sam. Good friend with Comics with Bueller. He is moderator extraordinaire, Comics with Bueller. You know what? I'm going to make Mr. Sam. We are going to deputize him. And Sam's Tangled Web has just been deputized. He is now a moderator. You have the wrench. And then we have Uncle Ron Juckett. D. Scott Howard. Oh, my Lord. A luminary is coming out all over the place. Uncle Ron. I was going to send you a link, but I figured it's a little too late. Uncle Ron will be, if you want to come on, you're more than welcome. Just click on that link up there if you want. And we have deputized Sam's Tangled Web. We're going to deputize Sebastian Stratt. We're deputizing everyone tonight. Everyone's getting a promotion. We're deputizing Ken Castro. That'll make him feel obligated at some point to come on the channel. You're deputized. D. Scott Howard, you've been deputized. Everyone's deputized. As Ken says, Sebastian Stratt says, good luck tomorrow, Ken. Did I miss something? Are you at a tournament, Ken? Are you at a tournament, Ken, or are you covering an event?
Well, you got me tomorrow night, but I'll stay till
my God.
Until Moni signs on.
But, Uncle Ron, he's too sexy for his shirt.
But
sexy for
I can't stay. But
but
I'll stay until Moni jumps on. I'll stay.
So Ken's at an APA convention.
He is. He's what doing the what was it? It wasn't the 50s. Was it a Royals team he's doing? No, it was someone else. I saw that because I
Atlanta. In Atlanta. He's in the APA convention. Speaking of English, APA convention in Atlanta.
I actually watched most of Dave Little's basketball game. Disappointed with the results, but
yeah, but that's yeah.
But so yeah.
57 Shy Sox.
Okay, I knew. Okay, 57 I got, but I thought it was the Braves. And I think that vitamin water that Dave had should have been called deflated.
Yes. deflated. If you feel sexy, drink some deflated. Wait a second. That doesn't sound right. What's going on here? It should be, I don't think that's right.
If you're sexy and a minor, drink deflated. Then we don't want you. Or
Yes.
you don't want us.
Yes.
Yes.
Just stay the hell away.
That's right.
You're what is called jailbait. Ken says he lost opening round of home run derby to Voit, 2018.
From the Yankees, yeah.
Is that how you say his name? Is that his last name? I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, it's the Yankees.
It's a big dude.
Yeah.
Did you see Encarnacion they picked up? He had a homer yesterday. Red Sox came back and won, by the way.
Oh, did they?
The bottom of the 10th, walk-off homer, Christian Vasquez. They were down 4-1. They tied it up at 5, and they won 7-5 in the bottom of the 10th. Walk-off homer. All those people are like saying the Red Sox are dead. Well, they're not dead yet, folks.
Oh, he was using 68 Killebrew.
Oh, 68 Killebrew hit for pop. Oh, why would you take 68 Killebrew, though? Why did you have to take 68 Killebrew, Ken? Is that who you got in the draft? And I'm going to go up a bit and just get rid of this.
Yeah, well, you want Moni to join you.
Yeah, but I'm going to put it back in again.
Okay.
When she says she's ready. I just don't.
Okay.
I can put it back in again.
So
Ken, why did you take Killebrew? Sebastian, yeah, your Blue Jays took it on the chin, my friend. I'm sorry about that, but I'm a Red Sox fan, so I'm happy about that. But I feel your pain, Sebastian.
See that Vlad Jr. is going to be in the home run derby.
Yeah. Oh, they had the thing today. Biggio's son and Vlad's son, they both play for Toronto, correct?
Yes.
That's the first time ever 2 Hall of Fame fathers had their kids play in a game.
I feel old.
I know, so do I. I thought that was going to make me feel happy, and now I feel sad.
What do you think of the concept of Tampa splitting their season with Montreal?
I think it's stupid.
Yeah,
because
I do too.
Okay, that Tampa doesn't draw people. Just send them back to Montreal.
In 5 years, they'll be in Montreal
because it's a shame because Tampa puts together a pretty good product for their payroll.
It's kind of like what Montreal used to do.
Thank you, Sam. And Dave from Baseball Demos is in the chat. Thank you for stopping by. We're waiting for Moni G. I don't know if I scared her away, but anyway, our favorite ginger will be on at some point, or maybe not. If not, we got our second most favorite ginger, Ron Druckett.
Yeah,
you got a little red hair in there. You're a little bit of the redheaded league.
If I did not shave, it would grow in red, like fire engine red.
Comics with Bueller saying hi to his good friends. We've deputized everyone tonight, Ron. Everyone's deputized. We promoted everybody. But what was I saying?
I got about 10 minutes before the wifey gets home. So
okay, all right, 10 minutes. I can do it. I can't. All right, yeah, I think it's a stupid idea. Yeah. I think what they should do. I joked with. It's not even joking. If you took that Tampa Bay team and you brought them in the Northeast, in Western Massachusetts somewhere, called them the New England, whatever the hell you want to call them, they're going to draw 25,000 people a game. That's more than, if not more. And when the Red Sox or Yankees come in, right, they're going to pack it. And you can put them in Springfield, Worcester, Connecticut, wherever the hell you want. Put them in Western Massachusetts, right? And you're going to draw. They put together such
where would you put a stadium in your part of the world?
I would put it. I would like to see it in Springfield, but I don't think
Hartford would be more realistic, wouldn't it?
I would put it in Connecticut, and I would call them the New England whatevers.
The Whalers.
You know what? I would call them the New England Whalers. I'll tell you why. Because they wear green and white, and they just exactly every time they hit a homer, bam, 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 and it'd say goal, and we'd be like, oh no, home run. So let's say home run. No, I'm kidding a little bit, but if they were up north, if they were up in the Northeast somewhere, they're drawing. That team's drawing.
Well, Hartford was ready to build the stadium for the Patriots.
Emily the cat.
Yeah, I hear. Oh, I see her.
I just think if you're gonna move them, just move them. If they move to Montreal, they want the team, they'll support the team.
Buy out the lease in St. Pete.
Yeah, just buy it out. In fact,
I'm not confident that Montreal will support a team again. They didn't support the good team they had the last time, and this was even before the strike. But
Emily's lurking.
yes, I see it. Dun, 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 dun. You know, as you know,
is she going for the mints?
Yeah, that's what she's trying to find. As you know, catnip and mint are in the same family, and she's
like, hey, I like that.
She's got because I've got some wintergreen sugar-free lifesavers in there. No, she's kind of backed away from it.
No, she's playing coy.
She's playing absolutely coy. Yes, now she's going to go over and try to unplug the air conditioner. this cat, I don't know if I've told you this off air or on or what, or on our regular Saturday shenanigans. I like Clinton's idea of strawberry shenanigans ice cream. I think that
is a good one. That's a good one.
Better than Uncle Ronsberry. No, you can't scratch me. If I'm talking to you or Dave, ow! Hey, no.
I guess she can be like. Now she's gonna sit down. She said, "I've done what I had to do."
She has figured out because she's watched Sarah unhook the cable to the modem and plug it back in, so she knows what cord it is.
Yeah.
She has literally tried to unhook my modem, so I will get off the computer and stop talking with you or Dave or whoever and spend time with her.
Emily, who do you like better, me or Dave Gardner? Emily.
Oh no, she's not paying any attention to you at all.
Oh no, she's coming over. Hello, Emily. Hello, yeah. Emily the cat.
She's now looking at my can of seltzer.
Who's a pretty kitty?
She's a starving kitty. It's 11:23, and she's waiting for my wife to get home so she can get fed. So yep, now she's doing what she did when I was at District on Deck and we did the Dodcast. She's off camera
and glaring at you.
And yes, now she's glaring at me.
She's like, Ron, you're pissing me off.
Exactly. Oh yes. If looks could kill.
Yes.
I'm being told to do the physically impossible in like 17 different languages right now.
Yes. And it's not pleasant.
I'm used to it.
Baseball Demo says Ron has cat scratch fever.
Dun, dun, dun,
dun, dun. Cat scratch fever. Who is that? I can see. Was it
Ted Nugent? I think it was.
Ted Nugent, the Madman, the Detroit City Madman, right? Where's Moni G? We're talking Detroit City Madman, and she's not here.
I'm not supposed to be your guest. I was your guest last night.
You're always my guest.
Well, yes, but this was supposed to be with someone else that wanted to be on. So
I'm gonna have Sam's Tangled Web on.
Absolutely. Is Comics with Bueller still there?
Oh yeah, Comics with Bueller still there. He was at a Comic-Con. He enjoyed this one. Maybe we get him on tomorrow if he wants to come on tonight or whatever. Or maybe.
Yeah.
Moni G's here. Thank God.
All right. So take the link so I can.
Yes. You're not leaving yet. You got to say hello.
Well, I will be polite and say hi. Man, I am getting
the look.
Oh, absolutely.
Here you go, Moni.
It's the new show on the CW. I Married My Cat, and
I married my cat.
If you can see the looks if you can see the looks I'm getting right now,
it is too funny.
Oh my gosh!
That is.
Now you're gonna go to sleep, right? You're gonna go to sleep. Bad at me. You should never go to sleep mad at your partner. Em. That's the first rule of a good relationship.
That's right. Sebastian Stratz says Ron is a pinch hitter extraordinaire. It is true. It is true. Uncle Ron is the best.
We had a fun time though in that game tonight. That was fun.
That was a lot of fun.
Did you ever think that you'd ever see Jack Kepke get benched?
Well, they picked him off. I had to walk away. I was listening. I had to help my dad. I saw two. I like what the game does. It slows it down. You're like, here comes a pick. Moni G has joined us. Moni. Hello, Moni G.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Wow. Very good.
I'm one of Al's friends. Yeah.
Well, you've always been one of Al's friends.
I know, but like, look it.
You're on.
Live. We're live.
We are live, and this is Moni G, and she's using her photo. The lovely.
I'm trying to fix it. Hold on.
That's all right. Don't worry about it. That's fine. This is Uncle Ron Jerkin.
Okay. We've met, but not like this.
Yeah. Hello, Ron.
How are you?
Moni,
Good. How are you?
Moni,
Good.
Moni is an educator, Ron. Hats
I
off.
am.
Yes, hats off to Moni G. She has one of the toughest jobs in the world.
And my cat's still trying to figure out how to kill me.
Well, your cat's always trying to figure out how to kill you.
No.
As Dave
most
from
times-
Baseball Demo says, cats are perfect. You're just lining him up for all of his puns. Dave from Baseball Demos is the pun master.
Ha!
Master of puns. That would be his, Moni, that would be his Game of Thrones title. As Sebastian.
Master of puns.
Master
I
of
love
puns.
that.
Right? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Moni G was in Dave's FOC.
Yeah,
Baseball.
right.
She was a pitcher, wasn't she?
That's right. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, not a belly itcher.
Not a belly itcher. Moni G's a sports fan. She knows her sports. Sebastian Stratz says, hello, Moni G.
I don't know why I can't get the camera on, Al. So
That's okay. Don't worry about it.
It says it's on. You can hear me though because you're talking to me. So
Yes,
I'm not sure why
that's okay. It's fine. So
why the camera's not working.
I know Uncle Ron's got to leave. His cat's ready to.
Well, thank you for hanging out before I got here because I was tardy. Because I'm a teacher, I can say that.
That's
Yes,
right. Just she wasn't truant, she was tardy.
Tobias Alejandro in the chat. He says, hello, Al, Ron, and friends. Thank you for joining us, Tobias.
All right, I'll let you two go have some fun, and you and I will do this and with others tomorrow night. Right?
Yes, we shall. Yes, we
Okay.
shall.
All right, rock on, Ron.
Rock on, Shaka Khan.
Rock on, Shaka Khan.
I stole your line, Moni.
Hey, that's all good, Al. That's all good.
So, Moni, thank you for coming on.
Yes.
Tell us.
Thank you.
Tell us about the channels you go on, because you talk a lot of Game of Thrones with Lady Wolverton.
I do. I hang out with Jennifer on Lady Wolverton's Thursday night book chat. And dang, I've just I believe I met you through the Game of Thrones community too.
Yes.
So I've been around a long time since I watched my cousin sent me bootleg copies of the first few seasons, and then I read all the books, and it was a while before I knew there was any YouTube community. I'm not a big social media type person, so but when I found it, I watched the usuals. Tony Teflon. I think I watched, who was that other guy? Oh,
I think you watched Phil.
Yeah, Phil the Issues guy, sure.
Yeah, Phil.
Who else? The small council I used to, and the high school.
I think you have your YouTube on too loud because I'm getting the sound back on it.
Oops, sorry.
That's okay. As everyone said, Comics with Bueller saying hello, Moni G. Sam's Tangled Webs waving hello.
Hello.
He's clicking beers.
Yeah. If I I don't know how to
That's
fix
okay.
the camera.
Don't worry about it.
Is that better, or should I find some earbuds?
No, I think it's just because when I talk, I can hear myself.
Okay.
Now I don't hear it anymore. So you did a good job, Moni G.
All right, good. Yeah,
So,
I had it.
Yeah, the Game of Thrones. It's funny that you mentioned that because that's how I got involved with YouTube. It's pretty funny. I'll tell you the quick story. I was a big Stannis Baratheon fan. That's why my favorite character, right? And then something really icky happened that pissed me off to no end because they better not write that in the book. That's all I can say. I don't picture him doing that. After he had the Father of the Year episode, right? Where he tells his daughter how much he loves her. Then it gets to, honey, you'd want to help Daddy, wouldn't you? And I'm like, just say no, Shanice. Just say no. Daddy loves. Just say no. And she said, yes, of course. I'm like, oh, you're a goner. Anyway, that horrible thing happened, and I was pissed. And I went online because I wanted someone to talk to, and I came across Phil the Issues Guy show. I had no clue how to. So I'm watching the show live. I don't understand how I can chat, and I'm just watching. I actually sent him an email going, how do I get in your chat? And he goes, do you have a YouTube channel? I go, what's that? And so, yeah, seriously. And then that's how I met Phil and Joe. I met Joe at a Comic-Con about 4 years ago in Boston. Joe Dirty Locks, cool guy, nice guy. And so is Phil. But that's kind of funny because you said the way I got involved, where you know, the Game of Thrones community. People wouldn't think that with what I do now, but yeah, it was the Game of Thrones. So, and Walking Dead, but it was Game of Thrones first. So, hello, Moni G with her cowboy hat. Moni.
I figured it out. So yeah. Cheers.
Cheers. Now, who do you have on the back wall there? You got lots of luminaries.
Oh, you know, all my favorite Star Wars friends.
Okay, so you got Chewbacca.
Han, Leia, Chewbacca, Luke, Yoda, of course, C-3PO. I don't have R2 up. Well, there he is up there. Of course, Padme, you know, Darth, Han, of course.
And in the chat we have Tabletop Sports Delaware, which is Chris, and he gives you the Moni G. Exactly. Moni knows that. So,
thank you, Chris.
And Chris, good to see you, my bud. Great. That's my brother, Chris from.
Yeah, I always have fun in your chats. In fact, you have I have had a rough year, so sometimes it's been super awesome.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Coming in and chatting with you guys after long days.
Yeah.
Weeks.
It does. It's a nice community that we the FOC, which is very eclectic. A lot of different people in it, so it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
For sure. Now, what do you do?
What do I do?
Yeah, what do you do? I work with children.
I work with numbers. I'm a numbers guy.
A number cruncher.
Yeah,
awesome.
I'm a bean counter.
You like a good figure.
A good figure is always good.
Yeah, it's true.
And well, you know what? We can also. I was going to make a joke about fudging the figures, but we don't do
that. a good number man, I think, is born with that ability, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, like with any statistic or fact, you can skew it a certain way, especially numbers. And you're telling the truth. I mean, even if you agree or disagree with whatever the point of view is, right? Just we'll keep it at business-wise. You're saying, well, we're interpreting it this way.
A creative truth.
Yeah, everything's a creative truth.
It's true. It's all a matter of perspective, just like Obi-Wan said.
That's right. And
from a certain point of view.
What makes good people is people with opposing points of creative truths should be able to come together and make a different creative truth that helps everybody. And that's the way it should be, in my opinion. It's not like that, but oh well, that's the way it is. So someday. Hey, I have a question. You've seen The Wizard of Oz, right?
Of course.
Okay.
I thought my hair kind of looked a little like Dorothy tonight.
Yeah, it does a little bit. You remember Pip? I'm not making fun of you, but because Pippi Longstocking.
I know.
Now, there was a movie before they made another movie way back in the 70s. Yeah, the Pippi Longstocking. She used to fight pirates. I went to the movie theaters to see that. I was like, kick their ass, Pippi.
I think that she was like kind of a like a superhero girl. I probably would like the books, but I never read them.
I never read them either, but she was cool. I like Pippi Longstockings.
Speaking of pirates, Goonies?
Goonies is awesome. Goonies, that's one of those movies. I've discussed this before. Like, what movie? And anyone that hey, Bubba Husky, how you doing, bud? And
hello, Bubba.
So one of those. There are movies that, like, if I'm doing something, I click by, like I just have the television on, I literally will stop and go, I want to watch this movie. Or if I can't sleep, you turn it on, and I'm going to watch. Goonies is one of them. I'll go through it.
Classic.
Goonies. The only thing I should dislike about Goonies when it came to television when I was a kid, they always showed Goonies in the summer, and then they showed it at the end of summer, and you're going back to school the next day. And I was like, oh, I would be cringing. Why do you have to show Goonies like this? Such a fun movie. The whole great adventure, great fun.
Yeah, you know Sean Astin is Gomez Adams' son, don't you?
Yeah, right. Because that's what was it? What was his first?
Sean Astin.
Right, but the father, the actor's name.
I don't know. Chat help.
Yeah, but no, he was also in. Sean Astin was in two shows I really like. Well, one it's on Netflix is Stranger Things, and then
oh yeah, that was great.
That was great. And you just knew he was going to, spoiler alert, he dies. And it was funny because he's looking at, what's her face, the one who steals stuff in real life. And I liked her on Stranger Things. Phoebe, no, that's Phoebe Cates. That's a different, wow, that was a good
Winona Ryder?
Winona Ryder. And remember that scene when he dies? He's like looking at her lovingly. And I'm like, you're so foobar. Just run out the door. He's like, I love you. I'm like, it's ripped apart. I was like, yeah, I told you to run out the door. So,
yeah, I liked that show. You liked it too?
Oh, I love Stranger Things. People are like, oh, people my age, they go, oh, you like it because it's nostalgic. Yeah. Yeah, and it's really well done because it put together, my interpretation of Stranger Things is Goonies meets The Thing and Alien meets slasher movies from the 80s. And again, not to the extreme of it, but, it's just, it's really well done, and it's just very nostalgic for someone my age. And my nephews aren't my age, obviously. They love Stranger Things, but it's really fun. It's a fun show. I was hooked right away. away.
I'm a scaredy cat too. So whereas you say it had the flavor of, I didn't watch any of those. I'm not a big slasher movie fan. I'm a kind of a big sissy wimp. So it was just the right amount of scare. In fact, I was watching with a friend, and half the time it was like, okay, no, I can't watch. I was like, we made me watch this before. It's time for bed.
Yeah, I was like,
now I have to watch something else because I can't go to bed thinking of this.
I was not a big slasher person. The only reason why I watched slasher movies was for the nudity when I was that age, because it's just nudity, and that's why I watched. Alejandro says season 3 starts July 4th. Oh, awesome! And what I like about that, if you want to binge watch and watch every episode in a weekend or whatever, you can, and that's what's great about Netflix. But yeah, that's a great movie. That's a great show. And but going back to Goonies, it's just everything you thought about. At least what I thought about when I was a kid, just like finding treasure and just having fun.
The doubloon where he measures it up against the rocks, and
One-Eyed Willie. And then they had go ahead.
Torturing the Big Brother. Torturing the Big Brother. So great. I caught a little bit of it with my folks Father's Day weekend, but it was the one with the commercials, so we opted to watch it. Courtship of Eddie's Father with Glenn Ford and Opie, Ronnie Howard.
Oh, the movie.
Mm-hmm.
The TV show was Bill Bixby. The Hulk was in that. You're right. That's the movie. Oh, wow, I haven't seen that in years.
Yeah, well, that was actually, I saw that movie, and I kind of got a big crush on Glenn Ford, so I watched him in a lot of his Cowboys.
Oh, Glenn Ford was in the original 3:10 to Yuma where he plays the bad guy.
Yeah,
and it's the guy from Shane who plays the farmer, who's the guy trying to take him in. And again, Glenn Ford, if you've never seen 3:10 to Yuma, he's a criminal technically, but you kind of like him. I mean, he does bad things, but he doesn't hurt. He doesn't, the way it's interpreted, the way they show him is he doesn't hurt innocent, in his mind, innocent people. Obviously, when you're robbing whatever, you're not doing what's right, but he's the likable bad guy, and it becomes the whole thing. What do you have to do? Just get me on that train and you make this money? And at the end, he goes along with it because he's like, just like in the remake, he goes, they can't hold me in Yuma. And if you've ever seen the remake with Russell Crowe, highly recommend it. Great. Russell Crowe plays the Glenn Ford part, Moni. And Christian Bale plays the other part.
Wow, and those are two heavy hitters.
Yeah, it's a very 3:10 to Yuma, the remake with Russell Crowe, and Russell Crowe plays it. He plays a very good, likable bad guy. Where you just like, and he has this whole. I'm not going to give it away, but he has this one rule. His one rule with his gang: you listen to what I say. That's the one rule, and you better listen to what I say. And he's very polite and stuff like that. And if he doesn't like you, he's going to get you. But if he likes you, even if you're the person trying to, like, if you're a sheriff or something, he likes you. And he's like there's a scene going, I could have killed you, but I didn't. He goes, yeah, why didn't you? I'm paraphrasing. I liked you.
Well, that's as good as reason as any not to kill.
But anyway, that's interesting. Glenn Ford. But yeah, Yeah, Goonies, definitely one of my favorite movies.
Yep.
Funny.
Hey, you guys.
That whole thing with the Spinellis, I think it was their last name, was hilarious. And the Chunk was great in that movie. Yeah.
Yes.
It's just all good stuff.
Yeah, that's a classic. Same with Princess Bride. That's another one of my faves.
Oh, Princess Bride, Carrie Alls, the woman who was a Bond girl later, it was later. I never remember the Buttercup. I never remember her name. Very attractive woman. And then
Robin Wright.
Is that her name? Thank you. And Billy Crystal, the woman from Taxi who played Laka's wife, Andre the Giant, and Manny Patinkin, right? He played My Name is Inigo Montoya. Okay?
Yep.
Indigo, which again, when I first saw that movie, and it starts off with Fred Savage, a sick grandson, and Peter Falk comes over, makes him stop playing video games, and he reads them, and he doesn't want, oh God, Grandpa, and Peter Falk starts. Go ahead.
I always say, is this a kissing movie?
Yeah. Because he goes, this is a kissing book. Yeah, that's what he says. And hi, Bobby. And so they start that, and they get in the book. But now it's like this happy, goofy, with action, but it's a fairy tale. And they play the movie like a goofy fairy tale until you get to that part with Inigo Montoya. He wants to find the guy who killed his dad. Now he finds him. He kills his little honor guard, and he says, basically, I've been looking for you a long time. Now you're going to get yours. And the guy runs away, and they have that whole scene where he's chasing him. And that whole scene, all of a sudden the movie goes really dark, like with where they went with it. And I'm watching going, holy crap, because, that guy's going to kill him. Not the guy you want to kill the other guy. And he's dying. The guy is,
the six-finger man.
Yeah, the six-finger, and Count whatever. And he was a bad word. And he had him all cut up, and he's sitting there against the wall, and he's bleeding from his stomach because he's been stabbed all over the place. And he says, Father, I'm sorry I failed you. And that's when the guy realizes who he is, right? He goes, you're that Spanish brat whose father I killed. And he starts talking trash to him before he's going to kill him. He just wants to. No. And then he keeps saying, my name is Inigo Montoya. And he just keeps fighting him and fighting him, fighting him. And he gets the upper hand, and he pins him back. He knocks. Remember, he does that. He flips the sword, which is great. The sword play, the fencing or the sword play was absolutely unbelievable in that movie. And he says these famous words. He goes, "Offer me everything I want." He goes, "I'll give you money, more." And he slices him on one face and one cheek. He goes, "Offer me women, offer me everything, anything you want, anything you want." And as he's saying that, you can see the bad guy, Count Ruger, or whatever the hell his name is, start pulling that knife out, right? And you're like, oh no, he's going to kill him. But Inigo sees him, right? Because he catches him and he kills him. And as he's killing him, he goes, I want my father back, you son of a bitch. That is one of the most powerful, exactly, but one of the most powerful scenes. What's up, W. Voggs? Will's going to be on with us next week. Will's going to be on. We're going to talk sports movies with Will next week during the week.
Cool. I like sports movies, we can't talk about it yet. All right, we'll wait.
No. We can talk about stuff, but he's gonna have certain movies but yeah, that's one of the most there's scenes I remember in my head. And that's one of the most powerful scenes to me in movie history, because you don't expect that. Now when you've seen it over, it's a feel-good moment. But still, go ahead.
Didn't you stress out when Wesley was in the torture room and it was absolutely. And they took all of his life at once, and you're like, it's all crashing down.
Yeah. But
dark moment. The Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, because they were losing everywhere. And then that scene, though, it's still a great, that whole thing. And then he does it because it's a fairy tale movie. He doesn't die. Like, he's all cut up and he doesn't die. It's like
have you read the book?
No, I want to. Is it good?
It is really good, and it's a nice, fast read. And what's funny is you'll read it and you'll be like, oh my God, this is exactly like the movie.
And you can visualize.
It's quirky just like that. But then you go see the movie, and it's just like every other book movie thing, it's like, wait a minute, they left so much out. But I didn't even notice when I read the book. It was the dialogue's the same, so you see all the same, and it's such a great movie. So I highly recommend it, and it's a quick read, so it's a lot of fun. And then you have all the visuals, and it's just a perfectly cast movie. I mean, everybody in there is so great, just from the beginning to the end. I love it. Billy Crystal as the Max the Magic Maker or whatever.
Yeah. For what it was, and they made it the way they wanted to make a goofy fairy tale. For the casting, and they didn't do any real special effects. They did old school goofiness, right? And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, and it fits so well, so well in that movie. Tabletop Sports Delaware says, I have new respect for Moni. Good to have her on the show. Oh, we've been wanting to have Moni on the show. Moni's very smart. I've watched I've watched many a chat with Moni G.
Ah, yes, indeed.
I have. So
I love chats with Al, and I'm glad you come around book club every once in a while. I haven't actually. I've been a little neglect lately, but I was there last Thursday. But check it out. It's always fun. We do a chapter.
Always fun, yeah. And sometimes there's another one. I think I don't know if it's that you're on there too, but there's one where they do book reviews. I have no clue what the books they're talking about, but I go there and I sit and I watch it. It's fun.
That's cool. That's cool.
But Husky says, I love this scene where he prays to his father, Sword, to help him find the pit of despair with beam of light coming through the canopy. Oh, it's just great stuff, Bubba. Bubba's right.
I know all of it. Or when he's climbing up the wall of despair, isn't that? Or there were the cliffs of despair, and the cliffs of insanity.
Remember,
like,
you wouldn't.
This is a lot more difficult than it looks. If you don't mind not talking to me, because he can't wait to sword fight him. He's like, I don't suppose you can hurry that up.
And remember, he goes, I'll help you. He goes, you're not gonna. He goes, on my word of honor. How do I know you have a word?
Spaniard.
Yeah. And then he goes, what you don't know is I've been using my other hand. And then Cariel's goes, what you don't know is I've also been using my other hand.
Why are you smiling?
Yeah.
Because I know something you don't know.
Yeah. It was a great character.
So good. It's so good. And then when he gets all wasted and with the brute squad, you are the brute squad.
Yeah, and the face of the soup, and I brought him back to health. It's like right in the soup and stuff. It's just a fun movie. Highly recommend if you've not seen Princess Bride. You got to watch that movie. That is a classic. That is something you can watch with the whole family. And again, I'm going to warn you. We've already given it away, but it goes dark in that one scene where you're just sitting there going, "Wow," because that was his whole goal, to find the guy. And he explains a story. I'm not going to get about what happened to his dad and that guy. And Count Ruger's an a-hole extraordinaire. And that's the guy. He's a good comedic actor, that guy. Christopher, I think it's Christopher Guest. Is that who it is? So whatever. But he's the guy who played the bad guy. And everyone's
isn't he also in
he's in those
documentary movies.
Yes, he's in a lot of those movies. The ones like I believe he's also in like Best of Show. Like I believe that's the same guy. I could be wrong. Yep. And I want to say he's married to the woman who was in Halloween. I could see her. Short hair.
Jamie
Lee Curtis.
Yeah,
I want to say that's Curtis. I want to say that's his wife. And again, I could be getting that wrong, but good stuff there. Goonies, Princess Bride. Okay.
Somebody just mentioned Spaceballs in the chat. Another classic.
Very good Mel Brooks movie. My favorite Mel Brooks movie. High Anxiety. Blazing Saddles too. Yeah. But High Anxiety.
I love
Blazing Saddles. I mean, there's so many.
And Young Frankenstein.
Yeah. So you have Blazing Saddles, High Anxiety, Young Frankenstein. That's a great triple header right there. If you want to just laugh.
Did you guys do your Discord thing? Because I have to figure out how to do Discord.
Yes.
Now that you're a Discord genius. Did you guys watch a movie together?
No, we're going to.
Oh, okay. Because I want to play.
I have to figure out how to share the screen because I don't think we get in trouble in Discord because I ain't recording it. I'm just
right.
And then the other thing is there's enough movies on public domain, that we can actually do that. And there's no way you can. There's the old Sherlock Holmes movies that are fun. I could sit.
I love all Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, I mean, I can sit and watch all those Basil Rathbones, and again, if you never watched Sherlock Holmes in the chat, the old ones with Basil Rathbone and Nigel Bruce, you have to understand these guys are like really good actors, and they're under contract with whatever studio, and they approach them and say, hey, we want to do, and they had worked in movies together, in Errol Flynn movies, and they knew each other, they're friendly, and they said, I'm assuming they're friendly because they never said anything that they didn't like each other. And Basil Rathbone was very much a social, what they call, like he throw a lot of parties and stuff at it, his Hollywood stuff, mansion or whatever. And so they go, yeah, we'd like to do Sherlock Holmes, thinking they'd only do one. They do one, it was successful. And then the studio's like, yeah, we're going to do a lot of these. And then they're like, we don't want to do any more. And they went, do you see this?
Really? I didn't know that.
This is your contract. And so they did, and then they brought him up to, they made him modern times because of World War II and stuff. But there's a great, again, you wouldn't, sometimes in those, when I say B movies, it's a shame to say it that way because these guys are good actors in the day, but these were basically B movies. B movie takes a different connotation, if I'm using that correctly, later in years. This just means it's a lower budget. Even though it was a big studio doing it, they really didn't sink in a lot of money to it. And what they did was they have the classic scene where Nigel Bruce, his Watson is like the bumbling old comic relief. He's not, he's comic relief, okay?
Yeah, yep.
That's the way they did his Watson. Now, he can handle himself. He can shoot a gun just like in all the other things. And he's right there with Holmes at all times, not afraid of anything. But he's comic relief. So they lure him away because Moriarty wants to go talk with Sherlock Holmes. And Sherlock Holmes goes, I could kill you right now. And Moriarty goes, yeah, I know you got a gun in your smoking jacket. He goes, I have a gun too. He goes, but if you do that, a dear friend of yours, you'll never see him again. If I'm not out of here in 10 minutes, your friends, I'm paraphrasing. Exactly. And then Sherlock, again, totally unexpected because I didn't expect it. He goes, if anything happened to that wondering, doddering old man, there is no place in the world that you are safe. I will find you and I will kill you. And that's basically what he said. And it was just a really cool scene. And they have their discussion. Holmes says, no, I'm not going to back off from putting you in jail or killing you. And he goes, okay. And he lets him go and home. And, but yeah, those are fun movies. But
so good.
Princess Bride, Goonies. Yeah, those are definitely, I'll stop and watch. I own both of them.
Yeah, good. Those are good ones. Same with the other one that I can watch like anytime. And I almost prefer it with commercials like on the week is Forrest Gump. Because that way you can, because every single scene is like, oh, this is a good one. And I'll get sucked in. But then a commercial comes on and then I can get going and doing the rest of my stuff. Otherwise, it'll suck me in for the whole day. But
Forrest Gump's very well done. It's just, it has the comedy, it has the drama. It's not a comedy. It's just a well-done movie. I mean, they touch a lot of dark stuff in the beginning.
Oh, for sure.
Danny's father.
It's just one of those movies, though, that'll suck me in. And then the other one, and I think you mentioned it. I don't know if you said you didn't. I love this movie. Is All the President's Men. In fact, I just watched it again the other night.
They were talking about that in the chat last. Was it Saturday? We were talking. It was about. We were talking about a certain actor. Oh, Jason Robards. Yeah. And it was last Saturday because I made the joke that every movie I've ever seen him in, he's old, even though he was young. He looked old. And he's such a great actor. Yeah, All the President's Men. I haven't seen that in years. That was a good movie.
Really good.
One of my favorite Jason Robards movies is like Once Upon a Time in the West. It's like 3 hours long, but it's well worth it. It goes by, like when you sit down to watch it, you have to actually sit and watch. You can't sit there and go, I'll watch some of this. Then I'll come, you got to watch it all.
While I'm doing something else, right?
You got to watch it. I finally, just 2 years ago, people at work who know I like movies said, you've never seen this movie? I'm like, I've seen it here and there. They go, DVR it. Because, right? And when you get a chance, just sit and watch it. Me and my dad hadn't seen it in years. And we sat and we watched it. And Henry Fonda, who I'd never seen play a bad guy in my life, right? I was like, holy crap, he's the worst human being on the face of the earth. He played a vicious bad guy.
That's disturbing because, he's always a good guy.
he was hello, Sam's Tangle Web. He's back. Yeah, Frank was not a good. And wow, they just have. Even if you go on YouTube right now and you type in "Once Upon a Time in America" opening scene, with the two actors. They have two American actors who are well known, who I can't remember their names, but if you see them, one's an African American actor, one's a guy who has big eyes. Have you ever seen Cannonball Run? I'm trying to think of something you would know this guy from. Anyway,
I know you guys love those movies. I do not know Cannonball Run.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I loved that stuff. But anyway, this guy, if you see him, because you've watched Westerns before, you'll know he's in a ton. And they're literally,
I think I know which guy, the goofy guy who's
he's got big googly eyes.
Yeah, and his eyes bulge out. Yeah.
And sometimes he's in comedy Westerns, and a lot of times he's in these serious Westerns, right? And you sit there, but I know him as and these two, they're only in it in the beginning, like the first 8 minutes, but what a great scene. And then they meet Charles Bronson, and it doesn't go well. It doesn't go.
Like Magnificent Seven, that's one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah.
And Escape, what is it? The Great Escape, one of my all-time favorite movies.
Great Escape was
love it. Great
Escape had Steve McQueen,
yes,
James Gardner. It has the guy who played Pleasic. He was in the
John.
The guy who
Sutherland.
The guy who went blind was in the Halloween movie. He played the doctor in the Halloween movie, but. So that is just, there's so many great there's so many great actors in that movie, and that's based on a true.
Charles Bronson, he freaks out.
Yeah, that's based on a true story. Now the movie,
I know.
I read the book.
Somebody must have survived then, because how would we know the story, right?
The guy wrote the book. He was a prisoner of war, and he wrote the book. But what they did was, and when I tried to read, I should go back and try to read it again. When I was very young when I took that book out of the library. When people used to take books out of the library,
right?
And it's for me, it was a little overwhelming. It was a little longer than I thought it would be, and so I kind of flipped through things and read little things here. But what they basically did was, for the movie, they put a lot of stuff together to make it. It's a movie, right? But when they dedicate the movie, when they go, this is for the 50 who didn't make it because they were executed. They were executed. Now, that's true. That's a true. Whether they change names or not, that I don't know. But over 50 Air Force men from mostly the UK, and there were some American, were executed because they broke out. And once you break out, if you don't have your dog tags, you're considered a spy. And even if what happened was, and I read some of it in the book too, because like I said, I was younger, so I was just flipping through, reading quick things. If you got caught by the regular army, right, they took you back. If you got caught by the Gestapo,
the SS,
or they sent you in the woods and they executed you. That scene where you don't know how it exactly went down because no one's there to tell you.
No.
All they know was he knows the survivors know that those guys didn't come back. They got shot. So the way they wrote it, maybe they found out later. And like in the movie, they make the commandant of the camp sympathetic in a way. And in the book, it's again, I didn't read enough of it, but it does show that the guy was just, look, like in the movie.
He was just trying to tell him, hey, listen, you guys are the ones who kept escaping. Yeah. So just don't screw it up. This will be my last assignment. This will be your last assignment. We can wait it out here till the end of the war.
That's what he said in the movie.
As a British officer, it's my duty to interrupt your war.
And what he said was, look, let's just ride it out till the end. The war's come to an end. He basically says, you guys are going to win. Let's just, And
I don't want to get killed.
Yeah, and there's that great scene at the end when they relieve him of command. And he turns to Steve McQueen. He goes, you're probably going to see Berlin before I am, because he's going to go get,
he's not making it to Berlin.
No, they're going to go shoot him. You didn't do what you're supposed to. I mean, again, that's the gist of whether that was in the book or reality.
Sorry, guys, if you're never saw the movie before.
Oh, greatest awesome. Colburn, Pleasant. Bud W says Colburn. That's it. He's like Pleasant. I never pronounced his name right. Attenborough was an English actor. Oh, that was a great scene. Remember? They're training everyone not to get caught in that little trick where if you're going to speak French, speak French. Do not speak English.
Right.
If you're going to speak German, speak German. They'll say, how you doing? And all of a sudden you'd answer in English, right? And the guy the guy who was trying to train everyone got caught. The blonde, remember, he's talking French, and they go, "Good luck," and he says, "Thank you," and they went, and that is such a good movie.
I know. Or when Steve McQueen busts out and then he gets like, solitary because he's doing the maps. He's like, "You guys are crazy." He's the only American in the joint, right?
There's only a few of them. There was only a few of them.
Oh yeah, and James Garner, he was the other.
James Garner was
so good.
It's such a good movie, and again, it's based on fact. I'm not saying those names are the same names, but when they say this is dedicated to the 50 who don't make it, or the amount of guys who were executed, that is fact. That's like when you watch, if you've ever watched Band of Brothers, whether the European one or the Pacific. Like one of my friends says, "Oh, John Basilone," and I'm sitting there. I saw his biography. He dies in real life.
Right.
What happens with John Basilone, the one in the Pacific, or even if you're watching the first one, Band of Brothers, which was really good. You're following that airborne company. Well, when someone dies, they really died in real. So it's kind of like, oh, it sucks. But like with John, my friend was watching the Pacific, and he goes, "Oh, I never heard of that guy." I go, "Yeah, he was a Medal of Honor winner, and they took him out to make him sell like war bonds. He felt so guilty, right? He goes, "You got to send me back." And they go, "What?" And his parents were like,
"No,
I don't want him to go back. You did your thing." He's like, "No, I got to go back." And he dies in his second tour. And my friend's like, "Holy crap, he died." I go, "Yeah, it's John Basilone. He volunteers to go because he felt guilt,
Right, that survival guilt. Well, same with isn't that Saving Private Ryan? Wasn't that kind of based on the same story about the one kid left? They all signed up for the army, and
that's actually a very famous. That's based on, it was an Irish American family. They had like 4 sons or 5 sons,
and they all signed up.
And they basically
I got goosebumps just thinking about it.
Basically, within days, they lost. Oh God, because they made the thing where if it was one surviving son, you would send them home, because that's a true.
So the name carries on. I mean, that's how it used to be.
So I can't think of the real name, but yes, that's loosely. I think that's where they got the idea, Saving Private Ryan, which was a very good, well done movie. The Sullivans, thank you. WB says this Navy. Yeah, they lost. I don't know if it was 4 brothers, 3 brothers, and 2 of them died, and they went to they sent the younger one home, or whoever was left, the one who was left, they sent home. That's very sad. I mean, my cousin, who I never met, and my dad's cousin, when he had 3 weeks to come home from Korea when he got killed, way back in the 50s. So,
wow. Yeah. My dad missed going to Nam, I guess, by 2 weeks. He drove a tank. He was in whatever that. So. They quit sending guys over. So they were short 2 weeks of training.
Well, it's not. God bless anyone who does that. God bless them.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Well, my life would be different, I'm sure, or non-existent.
Well,
you never can tell.
You never can tell. So yeah, those are good movies. The other one that it's a war movie, but it's more like a caper, a bank robbery in reality, is Kelly's Heroes. If you've never seen Kelly's Heroes, you've got to see that one.
I think I have.
Clint Eastwood, Donald Sutherland.
They're going for gold, right?
Yeah. Basically, they find out there's gold, right? And it's behind enemy lines. So they basically started
right.
All 5. Bud W says 5 all died. Okay, so then no one came. All right, so then they made the rule. Thank you, Bud. See, I knew I wasn't getting it right. I couldn't remember the name, but they actually made a rule. Bring the last son home kind of thing after all 5 passed. Thank you, Bud W. I appreciate the information. Dave Little's in the chat. Check out all these wonderful channels. The original Grognut says Kelly's Heroes is great, wonderful action buddy flick, and it actually you get attached to the characters. They're these oddball guys, and they're like, I mean, Don Rickles is in the movie. It's and I can't name them all because I can't remember all their names. I can see them, but the main character is Clint Eastwood, and basically he gets busted from a lieutenant for something they blamed him on. It wasn't him, because they explain that early on. It's just a great movie, and they basically start an offensive so that they can go rob this bank. And that's the whole point. They want to rob the bank. And at the end, well, if you haven't seen Kelly's Heroes, you should. I don't want to ruin it for you because I think you would enjoy Kelly's Heroes. So Bubba Husky says, my grandfather got out even though he had a cake job driving the CO's Jeep. That's not always a cake job. But
I think my dad had to do that too and had to go on beer runs for him.
Yeah, Kelly's Heroes. That's a fun action flick. I'm trying to think of. I haven't seen that in a long time, but that's a fun movie. I'll tell you the movie I've been talking about a lot. Because it's just been on a lot. I've watched it over. Shame. It's again.
I know you said that. Not, you know what?
If you get by the acting's done in a different time period. So
yeah, I don't mind that because I love old movies.
Yeah, it's just the whole thing. It's at the end, and OG had put the clip, and then it's just if you watch the fight clip, meaning when he goes. Shane is, again, a gunfighter, a killer. He comes across this farming family. And they treat him like he wants some food. They go, can I rest here? They say yes. He wants to pay them. They no, it's fine. He goes outside. This is how the relationship starts because they don't want any money. And they look at him and they kind of figure he's a gunfighter, right? Or he's
no trouble.
He can handle himself. But he's very nice to them. He's not trying to hurt them or anything. And they don't want anything from him. So he goes outside. Like I said, there's a stump, and he just starts breaking away the stump. And they're like, the father's like, and he goes out and he helps them. They build that relationship. Long story short, the other people want to get the farmers out of there because they want to drive them out because they're whatever, cattlemen, right? Anyway, comes down to the end, they start killing people. And one of the crew doesn't like it. One of the bad guys, say, right? Because he doesn't understand why they're killing these people. I mean, he understands they drive him out. He gets that part. That's what he's paid for. But he's like, yeah, we're burning houses. You see in certain scenes, like, just when he makes that look, like, why are we doing this? Now, he doesn't kill anyone. I mean, he gets in a fight with Shane, a fist fight, this and that. But so at the end, he goes and he tells Shane, hey, they're going to kill Joe. He better not show up there. They're just going to kill him. There ain't going to be no negotiation. Shane goes in his place. He actually beats up Joe to stop him from going. And he goes. He gets there. And he just gives that whole thing, that whole speech of, yeah, all of our time's coming to an end. He tells the other guy, you've lived too long. And he kills everybody. In the process, he gets shot and most likely dies. But there's that famous, he tells the little kid, Joey, tell your mom there's no more guns in the valley. They're all gone. It's just a great, and he gives the whole speech, you can't live with a killer. And it's a
heartbreaker. It's a heartbreaker.
It is. It's a great movie. Again, get by the acting. The acting's good. It's a different type of acting, but
it's a heartbreaker.
Bud W said Tucker punched him. Yeah, he did. Bud W likes shit. It's a really good movie. It really is. I tried Bud. Who, if you were going to remake that movie now with any type of actor, who would you have play Shane? It's something I've thought over in my head. Okay, go ahead. I'm just throwing that out to Bud or anyone else in the chat. If they've seen Shane. What were you saying? I'm sorry.
I was trying to think of my favorite cowboy.
Oh. Have you ever seen The Searchers? John Wayne. Natalie Wood, very young Natalie Wood.
I'm sure I have. I love Natalie Wood, and I love
Jeffrey.
John Wayne,
Jeffrey, I think it's Jeffrey Hunter. He played Jesus also. He was a tremendous young actor, and he got into a car accident. I was like, what the hell ever happened to him? Because all of a sudden he wasn't in movies. Not that I lived there, but I'm just saying he wasn't in movies anymore. I remember watching, then you get the internet, I start looking up stuff. I guess he got into something. He got into an accident or something, And he actually played Captain Pike on the Star Trek pilot in the 60s.
Really?
I want to say his name's Jeffrey Hunter. He was a very up-and-coming actor. And Captain Pike, Bud W says Captain Pike. Bubba Husky says, does age matter? No, just pick someone. Let's see who you say. See, my thought process, I like Russell Crowe. I always like
Russell overall, but then who modern times? So like who now or
again, so I would say Russell Crowe, but is he too old for because Shane was a handsome, you know what I mean? He had again, it's the 50s, so it's a very cleanish kind of movie.
You like singing cowboys?
I'll tell you what I watch on Saturdays. You're gonna laugh. We'll get back to your favorite I watch Hopalong Cassidy. I don't care. That's great stuff. I thought it was because my dad would watch it with breakfast, and I'm sitting there going, okay, I'll watch it. And you start watching it, and the storylines are good. It's the goofy way they do it. Ooh, Bella Husky says Viggo Mortensen. I can see that. I can see. And we have Naka Jojo. I never pronounce his name. How you doing, my friend? Hope all is well. That's a good one, Bubba. Viggo Mortensen.
Yeah. Well, you got to think of like the way you're describing it, every man's man, like an Austin Powers. Women love him. Every man wants to be.
And the funny thing with Alan Ladd, he was very short. I mean, extremely short. So on certain,
a lot of those actors are.
Yeah. But yeah, that's an interesting one. Viggo Mortensen. Yeah. The Searchers, great movie. John Wayne, very, very, very dark John Wayne. Meaning, this isn't your. To me, John Wayne could act in anything. Okay. And in The Searchers, right? He's a Confederate soldier. He fought for the Confederacy. Then he becomes a bank robber, basically. Okay. That's how he gets his money. He leaves his brother as Jojo says he's doing good. Excellent, my friend. His brother, he leaves. He's in love with this woman. The brother's in love with the same woman. He knows his brother would be a better fit for the, you know what I mean? He's an outlaw, basically. So he leaves. He comes back years later. Okay. What happened? No, he comes back money, and they go, where'd you get he's a wanted guy, right? They go, where'd you get the money? And he goes, yeah, I took it away. I took it away from some people. Like, he doesn't care, right? Like the Rangers show up, the Texas Rangers, he goes, because he's like, I didn't commit the crime basically here. You can't hold me on anything. He goes, there's a warrant. There's a warrant for you. He goes, yeah, it ain't here. So there's that tension, even though he knows all these guys. Some of them he fought with, right? Long story short, there's an Indian raid. His brother's killed. The wife's killed. The little boy's killed. They're massacred. Again, it's a movie. I don't want to get into the whole.
I know I've seen this. I've seen this.
But his niece is taken. And another.
Yes, of course I've seen this. Yeah.
Another young lady's taken. So now they go searching, the Searchers, right? And then.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I've seen this a million times. It's a great movie.
And what happens is they start off as a big party, then it gets down to just John Wayne and Jeffrey Hunter. Jeffrey Hunter, who I guarantee you, because John Wayne says something. He says, because he would call him Uncle, whatever. Uncle, I can't remember what John Wayne's name was in that movie. I've seen it. I own it. I've seen it a gazillion times. I can't remember his name. But Jeffrey Hunter would call him Uncle whatever. And he goes, I'm not your uncle. Right? He always said, I'm not your uncle. Don't call me that. As the movie goes, you come to find out, he says, when they come across, they're going to find who they're looking for, right? They've been searching. And it goes through years. They speed it up for the movie thing, it goes about a year, right? And he goes, do you know whose scalp that was on that guy, the war chief scar? Do you know whose scalps those were? He was really going to tell me it was Uncle blah, blah, and Aunt blah, blah. He goes, no, it was your mother. How would you know? That's his kid. That's what I'm saying. I always thought Jeffrey Hunter was, quote unquote, again, their terminology, meaning I think John Wayne was married to a Native American, right? Because he goes, that was your mother. How would he know that was his mother? Right? And then,
for sure.
And that was where the whole hate comes. Like, well, I'm killing this. And John Wayne will do anything to kill that guy and get his niece back to a point. But that's a great movie. Searchers, one of John Wayne's best
really
movies.
Good. Yeah, really good.
But
I enjoy that one.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, tell me.
Let me just go to the chat real quick. Bud W says Eastwood, Ryan Gosling. Oh, I like that. Would be two. That might be good. Ryan Gosling's a good. I could see Ryan Gosling. Ryan Gosling. I think he was in a movie. There's a movie called Nice Guys, which again a buddy detective flick, which has a lot of good action, a lot of murder in it, but it's like that fun kind of murder. They make it funny, sort of. And it's Russell Crowe, and I want to say it's Ryan Gosling, but that's a great. If you haven't seen Nice Guys, late 70s, they placed. That's a good. If I'm thinking of the right, there's two Ryans I get mixed up. So, Bubba Husky says, what was the flick with Tom Selleck and Sam Elliott as brothers who fought on opposite sides of the Civil War? Oh, I don't think I've ever seen. Well, that wasn't that wasn't North and South. That was a mini series. I don't know. We'll have to look that up. Tobias Alejandro. Sam Elliott would make the best cowboy. Oh, Sam Elliott he's a good actor.
That voice. Yeah. So good.
Have you ever seen Tombstone with
Tombstone? That's one of mine, and I didn't know. I was gonna ask. So like, this might be like the girl cheesy one, Tombstone, and I also like. Is Tombstone's the one at the OK Corral? But what's the one, Young Guns? I also like that one.
I like Young Guns.
Cool. Because I was like, is it just gonna be like, oh, you're a dumb girl, Moni? But
Bud W says Shadow Riders for the question in the chat and question marks. So someone look that up if they can. We'll talk Young Guns. Young Guns it grew on me, that movie, because at first I was like, oh, it's good. And then I watched it. I said, you know what?
But it's good.
It's a good Western. They give you a good storyline. You get a surprise character dies. I was like, I didn't expect that character to die. And I have to be honest with you, he was my favorite. It's the Charlie Sheen. I mean, if you haven't seen Young Guns now, I'm not, again, spoiler alert.
Sorry.
Yeah, he was my favorite character in that movie, Charlie Sheen. He was the kind of level-headed kind of guy who could handle himself. Because that's based on truth. Obviously, there was a Billy the Kid. Those were the something county wars. And it was basically the sheep herders against the cattlemen.
Yeah, the ranchers.
Lincoln County wars, and they were Billy the Kid and his crew. It's not the right. I'm going to say, regulators. I think they were called regulators.
Yep.
Meaning they were hired by the sheep herders to keep what they considered. They're just armies fighting against each other. I liked it. I liked that. I really did. There was a fun. And the take they took on it was Billy the Kid wasn't killed, because in the beginning he's telling the story that he walks. Because there is a story about this old guy who walks into a town and says, I'm Billy the Kid, years upon years later.
And that's what they do in the second one. They kind of say that.
Yes, and again, people have debunked it, excuse me. I don't know if it's true or not, but, the history says Pat Garrett shot him in the back or killed him. Some people said he shot him in the back or he caught him cold because they were sort of friends. And again, that's what history says. Some people just said Pat Garrett killed him in a shootout. So
remember the Brady Bunch where Peter was in love with
the train
with Billy the Kid?
Or no, it was either Billy the Kid or Jesse James.
Oh, was it? I think it was Jesse James. And he is a killer. Yeah, he is a killer.
And they're trying to. You know what's funny? You mentioned that. What was Mr. Brady's name on the show? Mike Brady.
Mike Brady.
I'm watching the other day. There's a show called an old Western from the late 50s, early 60s. It's called Lawman with John Russell and Peter Brown as Johnny McCain, the deputy, the marshal. And he's in that. The guy who played Mike Brady is in this Western series, and I'm sitting there going, that's Mr. Brady. He's a gunman. This is hilarious. And it's funny about those Westerns then. You just see a bunch of actors in it and you're like.
Yeah, they're kind of like the Love Boats.
Yeah, they're all over the place. But
they have all these actors and they all kind of go through. See, my dad, he watches Bonanza every day.
Yeah.
So I always see all those guys.
Bud W brings up Tom Horn. I had never seen this movie till earlier this year. That is with Steve McQueen, based on a true story.
Wow.
And they basically, Bud W can probably explain it better. The gist I get from it, these rich guys hired Tom Horn basically to go and clean up a mess. Like, we want to get rid of these bad people in town. We want the town cleaned up by any means necessary. And they say, we'll back you on that. And Tom Horn's basically a gunman. Yeah, he's not he's not all there, mind you. Well, I shouldn't say that, but he's a hired gun. And what happens at the end is when he becomes no longer of use, they find an excuse to basically do away with him. It's a good movie. Kind of, I guess it's based actually on a true, because, you know, they have the blurb. I don't know that much about it. It was a good movie. Is that Will Penny? Am I getting them mixed up? Bubba Husky says Will Penny. That sounds familiar too. I could be getting both movies mixed up, and I apologize for that. He killed cattle rustlers to start. I think it was Tom Horn. Yeah, so he basically was there to lay the law down the hard way. But he wasn't. It was a good movie. I didn't like the ending because what happened, because they kind of set the guy up. They were going to get rid of him. It was the whole. Even the guy who brought him in didn't realize what the rich other people were going to, you know, when his usefulness was done, instead of letting him go his own way, he killed someone, and it was kind of like he would spaz out, but it really was self-defense in a weird way. I mean, it was a whole, I'd have to go back and watch it, but
you know what, and that's what's so great about those old Westerns is how they jump on those social issues that you can't really talk about, like if you put it in this time, because it gets people all freaked out. Same with Star Trek. They could do those social issues, and it's the lessons. That's what I always call it.
Bud W says in real life he did kill the kid. Okay, because it's like they make it a gray area in the movie. Again, I don't know.
So he pulled a Stannis.
Yeah, it is just it's just, you know, and then they have their excuse to get. I mean, you kind of feel. I don't feel he was there to do a job, and again, I can't, you know, and they used him basically.
Yeah.
And Will Penny is Charlton Heston. Okay. Oh, is he?
All right.
Go ahead, Moni.
I got sorry, I'm gonna bust up your cowboy action here, chat with Al, because I want to know. Okay, so what's your favorite romance?
Oh, that's a good one.
Romance.
That's a good one. Debbie does. No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
No. Kidding. My favorite romance.
That wasn't that good. Is that what you just said?
No, it wasn't. My favorite romance, Harry Met Sally.
That's a good one.
There's a comedy in it. They got the romance. It's well done. You laugh. You get emotional. You get sad. Another real.
Okay, wait. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Moonstruck. I love Moonstruck.
Moonstruck's another. I'm trying to go through. No, Moonstruck's very good. But see, Harry Met Sally was the first one popped in. There's an older one too. Can't think of it, but.
Or do you know? Okay, I just watched.
I watched a lot of movies. You'll be
Magnificent Obsession.
Who's in
that? Was a good one. That's
that one.
Jane Wyman and Rock Hudson, and then the other one.
Rock Hudson. When people found out he was homosexual, again, nothing.
It was a shocker, man.
It was a shocker because women loved him. I mean, the people in Hollywood knew. Okay, and they kept it.
They knew.
Nowadays, that would never be kept a secret. Some a-hole would, you know, if someone is a certain whatever, again, leave them alone. They're not bothering you. Leave them alone.
Right.
You don't need to talk about it. You don't need. If they want to say whatever, I'm blah blah. Fine. If they don't, you leave. You know, it's none of your business. Okay, it's the way I look at things. But Rock Hudson was such a shock to people. Not in a bad way. People didn't dislike him after. They were just like, okay, because he. Again, I get when I see him in movies now, he was a really good actor. Okay,
he is just a good actor. Same with Cary Grant too. He's just like one of those.
Cary Grant,
where you're just like, I love those like screwball comedies with Doris Day and Cary Grant. Love them.
Bud, I just thought of another one now that you said that. But Bud W says Sleepless in Seattle with Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan. It was the same.
Yep. And then do you know what that one's like based on from the first? And I'm trying to think of it now. I can't. I just watched it. Where she's supposed to. His name is Nikki, and she meets his grandma in Italy. They're on a cruise ship. Oh my!
I know which one you're talking about. I know which one. I can't. I don't know the name, but I know what you're talking about.
It's the one that Sleepless in Seattle's like kind of based on.
Yeah. I'll tell you one before I forget, because you said screwball comedies. Yeah. Bringing up Baby. It's a romantic.
Love it. No,
that is an absolutely
all-time favorite.
Fabulous movie. Cary Grant, a very young, attractive Katharine Hepburn.
So good. So good.
It's funny, and she was
I've
such a
got
good.
nothing but you,
Yeah.
baby. They have to sing that to that dang leopard and the evil leopard.
Yeah.
It looks
Yeah,
so
there's two
funny.
different leopards. There was a leopard that was trained that sort of liked, well, it did like, it was used to people, and there was the one that wanted to rip your face off that escaped
Yeah.
from the zoo. And
The circus.
yeah, the circus, and that was pretty funny. Yeah.
And Katharine Hepburn, that was a real leopard, and she really was handling
Yeah.
it. She said that was like the coolest thing she ever did acting. Katharine Hepburn rocked.
Oh yeah, she was absolutely marvelous. Katharine Hepburn.
So good.
She's a great actress overall.
An Affair to Remember. Thank you, Bud W.
Is An Affair to Remember? Is that with
Deborah Kerr?
Yeah, but who's the guy in it?
Cary Grant.
Okay. Okay, that's a Cary Grant movie. I was thinking of a different one. Okay.
Yeah. And then what's the Doris Day one where A Touch of Mink? That Touch of Mink is Cary Grant and Doris Day, and there where he wants her to go down on vacation but not married. She like assumes like, did you just ask me to marry you? And he's like, no, I just wanted you to go down to the Bahamas with me. And she was like, ugh. And then she's like, okay, well, she tries to tell him I'm not that kind of girl, but she ends up saying, well, you assume that I'm not that kind of girl, so I'm gonna go. And he's like, awesome. Great. And she just freaks out the whole time, and so silly. Gomez Adams is in that one too.
Okay. Bubba Husky says the only musical I like is Seven Brides of Seven Brothers.
That's a classic, Bubba, and I love musicals. I could talk musicals all day too. Sound of Music. I love old movies.
Sound of Music I like. I like that. I like Sound. That's based on a true story.
It is.
But that's based on that. Though they actually moved to Vermont, that family.
Did they?
Yeah. If you look it up, I must say they moved to, they got to the United States. They moved to Vermont or something like that. I just kind of, something sticks in my head. I could probably be, someone's would be like, Al, you're full of crap. You're wrong. But I think sometimes things stick in my brain. Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong, but that sticks in my brain.
Well, I would say somewhere like Vermont or Minnesota, somewhere like
Minnesota.
Or those good.
They're funny looking.
Dutch Germans can go.
What about Greece?
But they were Austrian, I know.
Yeah, Greece. That's one of my favorite musicals.
Classic, yeah. I love Greece.
I mean, that's back to a Western real quick because we didn't talk about it. The Tombstone with Val Kilmer, to me, played one of the best Doc Hollidays.
Me too. I'll be your Huckleberry.
Oh, the whole thing again. The whole thing at the end with, well, Johnny Ringo, I do believe you've seen a ghost. or something like, again, I'm paraphrasing, just great.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah.
I'll be your Huckleberry.
Yeah, oh, he's just a great. And then the guy from Wings, when they're doing the shootout, they're trying to, what made that scene so great, there's a little comedy aspect to this brutal scene that's going to come up. They're trying to talk themselves out of the shootout, both sides. And Doc Holliday wants to kill them all, right? He doesn't care. He's a gunman, right? And he doesn't, I'll kill them all. I'm not afraid of any of them. He does that whole thing. He kind of like winks at the young kid. He's like, Kurt Russell goes, oh shit. Because now it's on, right? He goes, so yeah, that's a great movie. And again, that is what a Western should be. And again, they throw the romantic thing in there, but that was, again,
life has romance.
Exactly. Now, the best romances that were thrown in for no freaking reason whatsoever, you have to go back to 1950s monster movies. Romances that made no sense. And I go back to, again, this movie's never on TV anymore. I own it on DVD. When it was on TV, like say if it comes on Turner Classics every once in a while, I will sit and watch that movie even though I own it. It's The Thing, the original Thing. Yes.
Oh my gosh, you're so funny.
Will says, Moni, what are your thoughts on the good, the bad, the ugly?
Love it. Okay, I am a crazy spaghetti Western nut. I love that shit. I love the crazy bad dubbing.
Yep.
I love the cinematography of it. I love the music. I love the grit. I love that you can smell those Western men with their tobacco and sweat and horse.
So here, spaghetti Westerns, people, make fun of them, but the storylines are excellent. The acting's actually very good too, but there's the dubbing over because I want to say in the Clint Eastwood and those movies, the first one they did was A Fistful of Dollars.
Yep.
And he would say his lines in English. The Italian actors
would say it
in Italian, would say it in broken English, then it got dubbed over, and then they would say it in Spanish because that's the market they were going for. So they had to say it in 3 different languages, to my knowledge, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that had to be really tough acting, but those movies are so well done.
I know. When you think about how quirky that is, that everybody was speaking all different languages and they just like slice and dice, man. That's like a pro editor right there.
And so in The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, the second one in his trilogy of the spaghetti westerns.
Now that's the one that starts out where he shoots the rope.
Yeah, and they're basically, that's a tough way to make a living if you're Tuco. You get caught, and he basically gets you out of it.
Right. I don't want to be the guy who gets caught.
Yeah, so he collects the money, and then they kind of have a split, to which is funny, because Tuco doesn't even get a 50-50 split. And Clint Eastwood explains it to him. He goes, I'm the one who shoots you down. I should get more money. And then, they have this weird partnership. They're these bizarro, weird sort of friends, but they're not friends. They kind of hate each other, but they like each other. Yeah, that's a great. And then the music in The Good, the Bad, the Ugly is outstanding. And John St. Baptiste is gonna be coming on the next few weeks on a Thursday night. Oh yeah, the music is unbelievable. The ending scene in The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, where when you see it for the first time, you don't know who's shooting who, right? And they all focus on the eyes, and the camera goes from one to the other, and they're all looking at each other, and then it goes. And if you've not seen it, you should. I'm gonna wait. I won't even spoil it.
I know. Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it.
Because that's a movie I think people would watch. It's just a great movie. And then
it's so good.
A Fistful of Dollars, the first one, the classic. He shows up in town on a mule. He looks, and he goes to the old guy, the bartender, and he goes, "Hey, who runs this town?" And he goes, "Well, there's 2 families that run this town, and that's the problem. There's 2 families that run this town." And he goes, "They're against, you got the Rojos and the Baxters." He goes, "Who's stronger?" The Rojos are a little stronger, but the Baxters have money too. Yeah, because I can't pay you for this drink. Yeah, no one can. He goes, "But I'm gonna have money in a little while." Yeah, I hear that too. Because I'll be right back. Because they shoot at his mule. Now he goes down there and he walks by the guy, they have these 2 classic characters, these 2 old guys you just like, right? He walks by the guy who makes the coffins, right? And he goes, 3 coffins. And I could get the number wrong. The whole gist of it, you'll see. He walks down to the guys who shot at his mule and made him jump off and grab the thing, And he walks down there and he goes, "I want you to apologize." And you're like looking at him. And again, this is where you see the dubbing because they dub over English. And the guy goes, "We don't like bad boys like you in this town," and blah, 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 blah. And he goes, "Yeah, I want you to apologize." "Apologize to who?" "My mule. I can take a joke, but my mule doesn't like to be made fun of, so you're going to apologize." And they do the whole thing, and Clint Eastwood kills them all because they're not going to apologize. He wants to kill them anyway. And he kills 4 instead of 3. And he walks back towards the old guy, goes, "My mistake, 4. And it's just the whole. And again, it's the likable. He's technically a bad guy, but he's the. And that's
like your Han Solo.
Yeah, he's the avenging angel because he goes there and he basically kills all the bad people. There ain't no bad people left when he leaves. They're dead. He'd be considered a mass murderer, but he killed all the right people. So.
Yeah, so we don't get as upset.
No, we don't. The great movie, though, Spaghetti West. And there's other ones that don't involve Clint Eastwood. There's one, I want to say it's I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker. It's Rod Steiger and James Colburn. There's 2 different titles to that movie. I get them mixed up, but it's the same
James
movie.
Colburn is always good.
Oh, yeah. And what's funny? Lee Van Cleef, he's usually a bad guy in a lot of them. Every once in a while you see, he made a ton of spaghetti westerns.
And Lee, what's the other guy who had ended up with real bad arthritis in his hands, but he had that deep voice too? Lee.
Was it Lee? Not Lee Marvin, was it?
Maybe. Yeah.
He played. Oh,
Yeah.
The man who shot Liberty Valance, okay? He is such a jerk. He's Liberty Valance. He's a jerk in this. He's just an a-hole bully, right?
Yeah, no, he's a bad guy in a lot of them, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like
It's
all
funny
of them.
because,
Like, did he
you're
play
right.
a good guy?
Because later in life, he starts to play some good, good guy roles, and
Right, but
yeah, he's a bad guy pretty much a lot of westerns.
All those old western. I mean, all those old movies too.
Yeah.
Kind of bad guy. Yeah, I watch a lot of old westerns with my dad.
Yeah, they're fun to watch. I mean, it's a genre that's in a way slipping away. But every time I say that, they put a good western out there, and it's entertaining, and people like to watch. It's a great genre. You can make it. It's one of those genres where you can take, quote unquote, the good guy. He's technically a bad guy, but he's not a bad. Okay, a movie that there's a lot of fuss about and criticism about, and it's not the right word. Controversy. That's the word.
Okay.
Django, because they used the N-word a gazillion times, which they could have cut that out. They didn't need to use it that many times. The point is, Christoph Waltz, who
I heard it was really good, but you know what? I didn't want to see it. It looked really disturbing.
It's a very disturbing movie, but he is great in that movie, and Fox is great in that movie. And again, it's Quentin Tarantino's homage to a spaghetti western. That's what it. Now, there's a ton of swearing in it, but Christoph Waltz is basically a bounty hunter, and he never brings anyone in alive because he goes, it's too difficult. I can kill him and make the same money. So he's a psychopathic bounty hunter. But the people he gets are bad people. It's not like they're good people, so it's kind of, you don't care, right? And he comes across Django. He saves him from slavery because he needs him to identify these people that he's going to go kill, because he executes them. And his famous thing is he pulls out a piece of paper. I am a officer of the court. I have, right? Again, in real life, in some of these situations, the other people probably would have shot him, to be honest. But it's a common gag. It's kind of comedy relief where he pulls out and he goes, I'm an officer of the court. And he shows him, this is signed by Judge so-and-so to bring him back dead or alive. So, but yeah, that's a good movie.
Well, I would think he has to be pretty fast on his gun then, too.
Yeah. And the whole point at the end, he comes across Leonardo DiCaprio is a horrible human being. And so you sit there, and I'm not going to give that one away, but it's a good movie. You got to, if certain language offends you, don't watch it. You got to if you want to watch it, you got to understand they're going to swear a lot.
Well, a Quentin Tarantino movie is kind of pretty colorful like that.
Yeah. So if you don't like Quentin Tarantino movies, you might not like this movie.
But I just,
it's bloody.
The whole slavery thing, I don't like seeing people beat like that. I really don't. The human torture thing, I'm not into. Well,
but that's what makes.
I'm not into torture.
Right. That's what makes Christoph Waltz such an interesting character, because he's basically finding these are people he's hunting down because there's bounties on them, and he does them in.
And that's what bounty hunters do.
Yeah. So that was a good one. Hateful Eight.
We don't need their scum.
The Hateful Eight was pretty good. You got to get past the first. Quentin Tarantino, that movie's way too long in the beginning. Once they get to the cabin or the depot cabin, whatever you want to call it, very interesting, very good. When they get to the beginning, I remember telling my friend at work, I fell asleep 3 times at the same part. So my friend's funny, he goes, well, just fast forward it past that part. I go, you're brilliant. And I did. I jumped past that because I kept falling asleep at that same part. And it was a pretty good movie.
What part, though? That's interesting.
Well, for the Hateful Eight, they're right about to pick up the Southern guy who says he's a sheriff, and they don't believe him. He goes,
is that the really disturbing part in the movie? Because I was like that.
Oh, I know what part you're talking about.
Star Wars 6. No, I just that was a movie that I couldn't get through once I bought it and brought it home. Like, I tried to watch it. I mean, it's actually Star Wars 3, but
right,
6,
because of the way they did it.
But anyways, because I hate Anakin falling to the dark side. I hate Obi-Wan having to do what he did. I hate that whole thing. It's horrible. And then he turns into Frankenstein, Darth Vader.
So,
but I couldn't finally, I don't know. once I bought that movie, brought it home, I watched it like 6 times before I saw the end of it because I just shut down and I'd missed the movie again. Then I'd be with the. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, Bubba Husky's had bad weather, so I told him to take care. He's gonna stay safe. So.
Adios, Bubba. Thanks.
So now you brought up Star Wars, which means dog show should pop up in the chat at some point.
I hope so.
You say dog, you say Star Wars, and dog pops up. So
I love me some Star Wars.
So what do you remember? Tell us when you first saw Star Wars, the original.
When I was a child.
77, I believe.
Yep.
Tell us about the experience when you first went, because I'll just share a quick one and then I'm going to turn it over to you. We went to a bigger movie theater for us, because we usually went to the local movie theater, which was like one theater, the same movie played. There's usually 2 movies that played for about 3 weeks, and then it switched. So Star Wars wasn't coming to these theaters for God knows how long. So we actually went to the bigger movie theater to see it. And that whole thing, sitting down as a kid, 1977, I'm about 7 years old, and you're sitting there, and I got my popcorn and my soda, my friends, because we went with their parents. I
was going to say, who brought you? Because it was my friend's parents, too.
We literally went with 10 kids in 2 cars, right? So you're sitting there.
The station wagon, the Woody.
No, I'm saying one was a station wagon, one was whatever the hell the other, but one was a station. The wood, the whole, and we're sitting there, and that whole, when you see the words "galaxy far, far away," and you're just sitting in the
I couldn't read them fast enough. I still couldn't. It
was one of the most exciting, exhilarating things as a kid to watch. And I love movies. As you can tell, I still like movies. Now I prefer older movies because I keep my attention. Maybe it's just my age. But I like the good stuff. If it's good, it's good. I don't care what it is or what topic. So tell us about, and Amish Elvis is in the chat. How you doing, my friend? So
we went with the neighbor next door. My mom and dad aren't sci-fi people, right? So we went, and it was, you know what? I think we all loaded into just one station wagon, but I remember it was their 4 kids and me. I think my brother was still too little, and the 2 kids up, so 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 of us plus the dad took us to the theater, and that was cool. I couldn't read the words though fast enough, but wow, a princess who shoots guns.
That was
awesome.
Cool. That was
awesome.
Very awesome. Now before we get back to that, where did you get all those? Or is this something you just printed up? Is it something you drew?
A calendar? You know what? I like to get the calendars so I can chop them up and plaster them everywhere.
That's all right. That's cool. So, what were your? I'll tell you, when that opening scene, again, really cool scene. They're gonna board that smaller spaceship, and there's a shootout, which was, you're sitting there going. And I never seen any, pew, pew, pew. I've watched Star Trek, right? And I love Star Trek to this day. I love Star Trek. I love the movie. First movie stunk, to be honest with you. Then they got better.
Khan!
That's the one that remade the series, the Khan. That just was awesome. But to see those little pistols, pew, pew, and I'm like, wow. And then Darth Vader just come out and it's like, yeah, you can't kill me.
I know. Have you heard the theory? Okay. I know, where is Dog? Like, I'm waiting for him to come in, but where the stormtroopers actually were excellent shots and they missed on purpose because of a higher directive. And if you watch the movies with that in mind, because think of Ben Kenobi even says that to Luke in the first one. Obviously these were made by Imperial stormtroopers because of the precision and blah blah blah. And but you don't think of that. You think, stormtroopers suck.
Oh my God, that's what I'm saying.
God, they can't shoot anything.
When I was
the elite force, give me a break.
That's what I said. When I was a kid, it's funny you mentioned that. I was like, how did they take over the whole universe with these dudes? They're horrible. But they and we'll get back to the Star Wars. The first one's just outstanding. the one thing they did do in these other movies that they just did, which I'll tell you, I did like Rogue One. Some people, I thought Rogue One was
I loved it. I loved it.
Very entertaining. And I'll say it over and over again. Rogue One and the what people call the retread of Star Wars movie number 3. I like that one too. I didn't like the way Han went out.
No.
They should have gave him the way I would have done that for Han. Now Harrison Ford didn't want to do the character anymore. Okay, I get that. It stinks. He doesn't want to do the character anymore. You got to give him a better. What they should have done. Again, no creativity, no thought process in Hollywood at all. You want him to die. You want to sort of blame it on his son, right? Don't have his son kill him. That's cheesy. That's cheesy. What you do is have the son. Han's fighting someone else, in my opinion, right? The son could save him. Thinks about saving him. Starts, stops, then sort of starts again, and his father dies. And then he just goes back to do, you know what I mean? So now there's that. So if you wanted to turn, see, no thought process. If you wanted to turn Kylo back to where he didn't really kill it. It's tough to come back from killing you killed your dad, dude. There's no really, it could have been the whole thing where he doesn't save him, which would still be like killing his father, but he didn't actually shiv him. That's what I would have done. That's what I would have done. That's just me.
Yeah, and I still want more clarity in the whole Luke Kylo thing. That was the other part that turned him. Because that like you got both perspectives. So you got his perspective and his perspective, but like, so it's his story, and the truth is in the middle. I want to see the objective truth. Like, I don't want to see it through either one of their eyes. I want to see from the outside. But
that's an interesting concept, right? You're gonna just see it and then you judge for yourself. Again, you're not gonna...
exactly. And I'm sure you've heard me get harassed by let's see, I think every single one of your friends. Because I'm a fan. I'm a super fan.
You are. I've harassed you. I've harassed you too. And you're loyal. You like the brand, and that's fine.
It's not even about the brand. I'm just not a hater. I am truly a fan. I love it. I can't. It's not that I don't want to. I can. But I like it. I can't. I'm.
Oh, Moni.
I like it.
The original Grognard, the OG, says the theory that Moni is talking about, and he put a link in. So if someone wants to check out, I guess there is that about the stormtroopers just not shooting on purpose. I've never heard that one. The other thing I would have liked to see, and we'll get back to Star Wars, but I've told this to OG and stuff. We've talked about on the channel where I would have went with Star Wars. You always get the rebel side, right? There's no way everyone. Listen to me. Listen. There is no way everyone in the Empire is an a-hole. It's an impossibility. It could be a good person on the quote-unquote supposedly wrong side. Now, to me, the rebels are anarchists, leftists. They don't like freedom. I'm making it.
I'm like,
because I know this irritates you, but what I'm saying, it would be interesting to see like a governor of a planet, right, where things run well, and they kind of give him carte blanche or whatever that word is,
like Governor Tarkin,
to do what he wants, as long as so maybe the people like him. In other words, right? Things run smoothly. That would be interesting.
But then you should read the novels.
Yes, because someone brought that up. There's a character. I didn't know that. I was like, that's why. Then I said, why wouldn't you do that? You're giving a different perspective. And where I was coming from, Moni, just to bring it back to Game of Thrones, the books. No, but to the books, not the show, because they don't do it in the show. Mm-hmm. In the book, Uncle Kevin is a Lannister. He doesn't really have in the book like a chapter. You know what I'm saying? But you get a lot of his background story. And basically, in the book, he goes in. Cersei's foobarred everything. Everyone hates the crown, this and that. He goes in to clean stuff up. He takes the younger son away from her, basically, and he starts mentoring him. And things start to run smoothly. People start to become happy again. He goes, you can't treat everyone. He basically tells Cersei, you can't treat everyone like crap. What are you going to kill everyone? You can't do that. Now, again, he's a Lannister. He's actually was always in the shadows of Tywin. He's almost like, when you know how Stannis goes, I did what I was supposed to do and I really didn't get rewarded, but I didn't complain. And now it's my time. He's sort of like that, but not as bitter as, but he's bitter, but he still does what the way I interpreted his character in the book, and I believe I'm correct, because at the end when he's assassinated, the guy who kills him basically says, because he's nice to the kids, he's nice to the poor, he's trying to make things better. And the reason why he's killed is things are starting to run well. And the other side's like, yeah, we can't have that.
It's about chaos.
It's about chaos. We need the chaos to overthrow. So when he's getting killed, he looks at the guy and he's like, because the person he knows, right? He knows who it is. And he's shot with like a crossbow a couple of times. And the kids, what's even more brutal, the kids who he's been treating nice are the one. Are you all right? You shouldn't chug.
No, I'm laughing. I'm doing the crossbow in the stomach.
Oh, yeah. Oh, gotcha. And what happens is the kids, it's really a heart-wrenching thing because the kids lead him to his death. The kids, the street kids who he's very nice to, he gives them money and he's nice to the poor. Again, things are running smooth. And the guy tells him, things are running too well. And he looks at him as he's dying. And the guy says, sometimes good people are on the wrong side. And they kill him. So my aspect was, that'd be kind of cool to get something, if you're watching Star Wars, where you get this guy, maybe he doesn't, or a woman, doesn't, man, but they never show, you know what I mean? So you have to say it's a guy. And the way you can make him, quote unquote, human, right? He has a wife, a family. He runs the planet. He's a soldier. You got to make him you got to make it so it's believable. It can't just be like a bureaucrat. And things run well. He likes his family. He likes his kids. He does, but he's a soldier. He's loyal. That's the whole thing. He's loyal to the Empire, and they put him in charge. And you could show it from that perspective. And then obviously you'd kill him off in the end, you know what I mean? And you'd be like the whole, well, that guy wasn't a bad guy. It would have been interesting, as opposed to you get the movie where they're doing a Jerky's Boy phone crank call in the beginning. I'm like,
oh, come on. It was funny.
Moni,
that was funny. I laughed out loud in the theater.
Okay. But let me just say, Moni, if I'm in charge of a death battle star or whatever the hell it's called, and they got blah blah blow it.
You're going to be annoyed with some flyboy doing that.
Yeah, and I'm going to open fire on him right away.
Oh wow, you are not.
Yes, I am.
You totally want to threaten somebody. You're like wearing your britches. Give me a break.
That's what the best part was, the old admiral on the other one going, just shoot him. Just, he keeps going, just shoot him. Why are we talking to him? Just shoot him. Like he's talking to his crew. Why? this guy's an idiot. So.
Because he's like a triple ace.
Yeah, he's a triple ace.
Seriously, he is. Don't you remember when they shot him all up? But yes.
Yeah. That being said, I loved Rogue One. That was...
That's a total Shakespearean tragedy. I had to tell my poor nephew that that everybody died. He didn't really get that.
But that's what they did that one so right, because these are characters you're never going to see again. And for me,
I know, which sucks because I kind of liked them.
They were interesting.
I really loved the robot. I really loved.
They were interesting though, right? They were interesting. Even the robot who they made into he was a guard robot, and they reprogrammed to be like a good guy robot. He was great. Everything was great.
It was awesome. When he smacks him.
Yeah. Every character in that is going to die, except the one guy you wish would die. He's not going to die. And he lit up that planet real quick. Yeah, blow the planet up. Oh, he was a jerk. He killed his own people on top of it. He didn't care.
Nope.
But
nope. I know I've taken lots of abuse.
No.
I can't help it though. I'm a fan.
That's fine.
And I haven't read the books, and that was what makes me. I mean, like all the
I guess from the people who
read extended universe, which makes me like I
didn't even know there were books till last year. I'm not lying. I didn't know, or the year before. I'm like, what are you talking about, books? I didn't know.
And I've opened my eyes. I've opened my mind, because before I was a strictly canon girl. And I still get slack about that. That's those books are not canon. They're made by,
you know what I say,
approved by Lucasfilm, but they're not. And that's okay, because I've learned to accept them, because there's truth in legend, and it's okay.
You know what I say, Moni? You enjoy it. God bless. That's all that matters. If someone enjoys something, we talk about this in sports sims games. There are people who go, oh, that game stinks. That if someone enjoys it, they enjoy it. It's
Yeah.
your thing. That's fine. I like Star Wars. I don't like where they went with it. That's all I'm saying with some of it. I don't like where they went. Now, Mark Hamill said he will never, even if they try to bring back the character, Luke Skywalker, he's not going to be in it. He doesn't want to do it no more.
But he was in this last movie, in the 9th movie.
Right. But he says if they had an article or something they were talking about on the radio on my way home from work. So that was kind of interesting.
Just recently?
Yeah, today I heard it.
Wow. Okay, wow.
I'm sure Dog.
Star Wars news. Ooh, we're scooping Dog.
Dog should be in here. Where's Dog?
Yeah, where is Dog?
Wait a second. I have to channel him. Sim Salabim Star Wars. Sim Salabim Star Wars. Think shut our eyes and think Dog. Dog, Star Wars.
The Dog Show. We're talking Star Wars.
Now
I love Star Wars. And I love did you watch any of the cartoons? Like, did you watch the Clone Wars?
I watched some of them because my nephews love that stuff. And that was, there's actually all different types of cartoons that a lot of people love them. And
I love Rebels too.
So you're a true, I mean, that's not the right, you like everything Star Wars.
Yeah, I really do. I even watched the girl hero ones that they release, like 3-minute shorts. And yeah, I watch all that stuff, man. Those aren't my super favorite, but I dig them.
Yeah, as Bud W says, that's from Johnny Quest. That's right, Sim Salabim. That was the whole Haji thing. That, I'll tell you what, and we won't leave Star, but Johnny Quest, that 1 year it's on, because it's actually only on, I'm not talking when they bring it back, it's not as good. The 1 year it's on, late 60s, mid 60s, that cartoon was outstanding for action. It was just, they did a.
I didn't watch it. And I watched boy cartoons, but I didn't watch that one. I loved the beginning of Speed Racer. I didn't really watch that one either, but I like to dance to it. Here comes Speed Racer.
Speed Racer, yeah.
He's a demon. I didn't really watch that cartoon, but I liked the beginning. And I loved Ultraman. I liked G.I. Joe, the cartoon, when I was a kid.
Oh, I still love Looney Tunes. Are the best.
Looney Tunes, of course, is my favorite. You know that.
Looney Tunes.
You know that.
Living on
who's your favorite character?
Let me just go to chat real quick, then we'll move to Looney Tunes. Shane Sidwell, sorry, asked, has anyone ever seen Black Hole by Disney? I've never heard of the movie. I don't know if this is a joke.
Oh, no, there is a movie, Black Hole, but I don't remember it. If I saw it, I cannot remember it.
I do not recall it. So, Shane, if you're still there, I'm sorry it took so long to get to that. Tell us a little bit more about that one. Living on a Prayer says, what Star Wars stuff were you talking about?
All Star Wars stuff.
All Star Wars stuff. You're late, my friend.
Hello.
He says, yes, hello. Movie.
Which one? Oh, so, Black Hole.
Black Hole. So OG says Black Hole was a dark Disney movie. I don't recall Black Hole at all.
Wasn't it around the Tron time?
I like
Isn't that
Tron.
Disney also? But isn't that Disney?
I don't know if Disney did the remake of Tron or the original. I think they did a remake of Tron. Again,
I would think they would have done the first one too then. But I don't know.
I've never seen it, so I'm not familiar. I'm sorry, I can't comment on that. A dark Disney movie. That's like Fantasia. That scared that movie, that little cartoon.
Fantasia, I love Fantasia, but the other one, with Hen the Pig and is it the Black Cauldron? That was a dark Disney movie.
I'll tell you, this is not a Disney movie, but as a kid,
The Wizard of Oz. I was afraid of the flying monkeys.
Okay, we never got to that, but
and the Wicked Witch.
Okay, Wizard of Oz. Let's hear it in the chat. Okay. The Good Witch Glenda. Was she the most useless piece of poop?
No, she flew in bubbles.
Oh
she flew in bubbles and she made them get high off poppies.
Oh
she was awesome and she had beautiful red hair like Maureen O'Hara. No.
Listen. First of all, I have to go back to the chat because Shane's still with us. Shane Sidwell says, it had a beat up robot named Max or Sam or something like that. Oh, I never. Living on a Prayer says, I'm very late. Yes, it was around Tron. Yes, they did the first one. Well, thank you. But the Wizard of Oz, the Good Witch basically used Dorothy as her hit girl. They dropped a house. They dropped a house on the first enemy, and then they melted the second enemy. And at the end, she goes, Dorothy, you could have always went home. You just have to wish it. And, you know, if I'm Dorothy, I'm like, I would have turned to the Scarecrow and went, do you think water would kill this bitch too? Because I would have thrown water on it or something. I hated the Good Witch. Oh, I'll tell you that.
Oh, but she had an awesome tiara crown, and her
I give you that,
dress
but
was all
she's
sparkly.
useless. She didn't help out at all.
Dude, she flew in bubbles. That's
God.
Give me bubble travel any day. Yeah.
Okay.
Are you a good witch or a bad witch?
Yeah.
I'm not a witch at all.
Good. I want you to kill my sisters who I don't like.
No.
I want you to rub them out. Have you ever seen The Godfather?
She didn't try to take the slippers though, man.
No, she didn't care about the slippers. Once you whack everybody out, once you kill everybody, you don't need the slippers. She's like, you can keep the slippers. I don't give a shit. My enemies have been dispatched. You're the best, Dorothy. Dorothy, leave the gun. Get the cannolis. I mean, as a kid, I thought differently. I mean, I told you about Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I'm like, okay. So Rudolph.
Does anybody want a Charlie in the box?
Exactly. So this is me watching Rudolph the Red. I've talked about it because it's the first time we're talking about Moni, and I'm just saying, okay. I'm watching as a kid. I got my bowl of popcorn, whatever sugary beverage my parents are gonna let me drink. I'm sitting there going, So they beat up Rudolph because he has a red nose? Okay, that's kind of disturbing. And I'm thinking as a kid, why don't you just like kill them in their sleep? Okay.
Oh wow! You did not think that.
I sort of thought that, or get some friends and kick the shit out of them, right? So now we move on.
No.
And then Hermie wants to be a dentist, and they bully him.
Be a dentist.
And the guy's like, Hermie wants to be a dentist. They all laugh at him. I'm like, okay, so you want to better yourself? And they laugh. Okay, what is this, communism here? What the hell's going on here, right? So I'm watching, I'm eating, and then, right? Wait a second. They're putting toys that they've foobarred, it's their fault, on an island, and no kids can play with them? What the hell's wrong with Santa? I didn't really like Santa in that one. I was like, whoa.
Who ever heard of a skinny Santa?
I'll tell you the best one was The Year Almost Without Santa or something. Heat Miser, Cold Miser was classic.
That's a great one, but bump.
Mr. Heat Miser.
It's so good.
That's the best one. That's the best one.
I didn't mind. Well, so you probably hated Charlie Brown then too, the Charlie Brown cartoon.
Hell no, that's the best Christmas special.
Yeah, but they would always pick on Charlie Brown.
Oh, I didn't like that. I never liked people getting picked on. I never liked.
I know it wasn't, but you know, I had a friend who said she didn't watch them because of that, and I was like, oh yeah, I hated them picking on Charlie Brown, but I still watched them because I loved those shows.
Because that was one of the few Christmas specials to this day I will watch. I'm not going to get into it. It's a personal thing of mine where they
those are my favorite comics.
They actually mention what Christmas is really about, which is like, whoa, really taboo now. In fact, I remember the day CBS cut out a certain part at the end. That's the only time I've ever got on the phone. And I wasn't just the only one, because they got flooded with phone calls and letters and emails going, listen, you cut the part, and they apologized. Oh, we didn't mean to do it on purpose. You did it on purpose. You cut the part out at the end when they're singing. Why? That's not offensive to anyone. If you don't like Christmas specials, don't watch the Christmas special. It's very simple. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, I like that. I'll tell you the best one. No one ever seen this one. They did a Charlie. It wasn't like a holiday one. Remember how he used to always try to kick the football and Lucy would pull the football away? Right? They did where they're playing for the city championship. I've only seen it twice in my life. I'm going to have to find it on YouTube because no one believes me. And basically, Peppermint Patty, who's infatuated with Charlie, she's in love. I don't care what anyone says. She loves Charlie Brown. I think she's likes other things too, and that's cool. But she likes Chuck. Okay?
I think Marcy does. Marcy
likes Chuck too. Marcy likes Peppermint Patty and Chuck. There's a whole kind of intricate kind of thing going on there, which is kind of funny to think about, because if you know where this comic comes from, it's a very religious. I mean, the characters are all based on Like Lucy's.
But the thing is, there's everybody, right?
Yeah,
so.
right. So, but that's the beauty of, if you really look at Charlie Brown.
I know. I dig Charlie Brown, man.
Schultz actually touches a lot of things. People don't get it, but I did. So the whole point is, at the end, Charlie Brown's the quarterback. They yank him because he's not good. Peppermint Patty goes in. They're going to win. They just got to kick a field goal. So Lucy's the holder, and I'm sitting there, guys, as watching, going, well, this is not going to go well.
No, this is not going to end well.
They snap the ball. She puts the ball down, and out of instinct, she pulls it away. And even she goes, what am I doing? Like, after he misses. Like, and they all yell at him. I'm like, really? Did you not see Lucy, the B-I-T-C-H, pull the ball away?
Charlie Brown.
Yeah. That was, as Shane Sidwell goes, Charlie Brown harem. Yeah, he didn't realize. See, he was infatuated with the Moni G.
With the girl with the red,
curly red hair.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I jest. I do like Charlie Brown. So
that's funny, but you hated Rudolph, huh?
No. I like Rudolph the character. I didn't like the way he was treated. I didn't like the way the kid, Hermie was treated. Again, it's actually a very effective cartoon about people being different, that you shouldn't treat them different. It's very effective on that. Yeah, you shouldn't, because the point is, they called them misfits, but they weren't bad. They didn't do anything wrong. They were just different. No. So, but yeah, that was a little. And then I tell you what, I'm not the only one who thought that way, because you remember Mad TV?
Yes.
They did Raging Rudolph. And if OG's still in the chat, please go to YouTube, type in Raging Rudolph. When I saw that, I went, that's what I wanted to happen. They basically took Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, mixed in the Godfather theme, and what's the one with Joe Pesci and, oh my God, I can't believe,
Goodfellas.
It's hilarious. You have to. It's disturbingly hilarious, because I'm like,
what's the Adult Swim? They do a lot of like.
Oh, Adult Swim used to do
the Star Wars ones are hilarious.
They used to do the action figures.
Yeah.
Robot Chicken.
Robot Chicken. Thank you.
They did some funny, because it's all. You know why that was funny? Because it's everything.
Like I quote that more than sometimes the movies, although that's ridiculous, but funny.
This is Raging Rudolph, I believe. Check it out. Everyone click on that. You will laugh your ass off. It's like 3 minutes.
Thank you, OG. That's so cool.
You got it. It's funny. It is hilarious. Raging Rudolph. It's 1 a.m. We'll go a little longer if you want. If you don't, that's
sure.
fine.
Yeah, I'm cool. I'm having a blast. Thank you for having me, by the way. And hello to everybody out there in the chat.
Let's see who we still have watching. How many people? My God, we have 15 people. God bless them all.
Wow, rock on, Shaka Khan.
And rock on, Shaka Khan. And Tiny Tim too. That was Christmas specials. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I have like a little bit of a Christmas special ritual. I love The Bishop's Wife. And do you know that movie? It's an old one with Loretta Young.
No, I'm not familiar
okay, with that. Oh my gosh, it's so good.
Living on a Prayer.
Whitney Houston did the remake called The Preacher's Wife, but The Bishop's Wife.
I saw that one. I actually saw that.
I never saw that one, but it's David Niven.
Oh, good actor.
Cary Grant and Loretta Young. And it's so good. It's so good. You'll love it. Okay, so that's one of them. Of course, Miracle on 34th. Wife, huh?
Let me write that down.
No, The Bishop's Wife.
Bishop's Wife.
The Bishop's Wife. And this is old. You can see it in black and white, but they do have a colored version.
Oh, I don't like when they colorize stuff.
I know, but it's pretty well done, but I prefer the black and white. But I also like both old and new Miracle on 34th Street.
Yeah.
Of course.
That's a very young Natalie Wood.
Yes,
right?
Very young. Very young. Oh, so cute.
When they take Santa Claus to court.
She pulls his beard.
Yep. I'll tell you, okay, we're talking Christmas movies, right? Well, Wonderful Life.
Christmas Story, of course.
I was just going to say that. A Wonderful Life.
A Wonderful Life.
Okay, again, great Capra movie. That actually wasn't very popular in the day.
Do you know the part where Uncle Billy goes off and he's like, oh, and he crashes. Oh, I'm all right. That was actually an accident.
It really was. I did not know that.
like
Wow.
yeah, somebody actually she would have lost her job except for he was like such a great old school actor from even back in the silent days and stuff. But so off stage, this intern dropped a whole canister of films, and of course it picked up. They were shooting,
Yeah.
but he said he was off camera. Oh, I'm all right. I'm all right. You know, they still had all the mics
ad-libbed
and
it.
stuff.
Wow, that's
So
really
right,
cool.
so
That's a
like
great
because he
story.
was still
That's
filming, she
awesome.
didn't lose her job because of it.
That's-
I love all that. I watch all the super nerdy stuff of
No,
these
that's
movies that I
cool.
super love. I watch all the nerd stuff.
Good, because
Yeah.
after we do Christmas stories, I'm going to give you my nerdy stuff about the Planet of the Apes that I know.
Okay, because I have a super fear about that.
A lot of
the
people
Apes,
don't like
something
Planet
that
of the Apes.
scared me, kind of scarred me for life on human animal crossbreeds.
Yeah.
Honest to God, Chicken Lady.
Oh God. Oh, that was it. What the hell was that in? That was
and Goat Boy, Kids in the Hall.
Oh, that's
and the Goat Boy.
Kids in the Hall was hilarious.
So good. I love
so
that
all right.
show,
So you said you gave a couple, and It's a Wonderful Life.
Yep.
Christmas Story is just fabulous. That's just, again, it grows on you, that movie. And then there's a couple of versions of Christmas Carol I like. I like the George C. Scott one.
That's the best one.
There's one from the 1936 or 1938 who I can't remember the actor. That's my sister's favorite.
I thought it was 39, but you're probably right.
But that's right. There's one from there. Yep. Very good.
So good.
And then there's one that I want, the Star Trek captain, Picard.
Yeah, Picard. That one isn't my favorite. I thought I would love it, but that one isn't. But I love the George C. Scott one.
The George C. Scott one. And again, great. A Christmas Carol, if you don't, any version's going to grab you a little bit, but there's ones you like better, but it's just unbelievable.
I mean, just what a great name, Ebenezer Scrooge.
And just the character, and then the arc of redemption at the end. Now, it sucks it takes him this long to figure it out. But they do.
But it's not like he's dead, though.
No.
He does good.
Yeah, it sucks it takes him that long.
And I love the movie Scrooge with Bill Murray.
Yeah, that was not one of my favorites, but yeah.
It's kind of dark, but I loved it. I love it.
Then you have here's one. This is a Halloween one, but I think have you ever seen Arsenic and Old Lace?
Arsenic and Old Lace, yes. Cary Grant and the Old Lace.
Oh my God! And this is like this, if you like Halloween movies, is a must see. It is funny and it's disturbingly funny at times, with the aunts whacking out people. They're murdering people. And Cary Grant's like, what?
Out of the goodness of their heart.
Out of the goodness of their heart. Well, they were lonely. And the classic line, don't tell them you're lonely. And don't drink the wine, for God's sakes. That's one of my. You remember Peter Lorre in that?
Cary Grant is just.
Oh, Cary Grant's
so
awesome.
Charming.
In that movie with Peter Lorre, Johnny, you're tied with your aunts. No, I'm not. They have 15. Or whatever the number was, and you have 15. I have 16. No, you can't count him. He died of pneumonia. It's because I shot him. You didn't kill him, though. And they just go through this whole routine. It's just, again, you got to check out, if you like old school movies, that's another one.
And I love old black and white movies. See, there are a lot of people that won't watch a black and white film, but
they just don't like. How can you be a true movie lover and not like a black and white movie? That's
don't get me wrong, because I love a good Technicolor film.
Absolutely.
There's nothing like a good Technicolor eye candy where it just pops in your eyes.
That's like Errol Flynn and Robin Hood. That movie's so bright with colors. You're like,
yeah,
and you're like this as a kid, going, "Did they really dress like that?"
I know, but as an adult, you're like, "Wow!"
It's one of my. As a kid, first time I saw that was on PBS.
I thought it was dressed like that.
I was like, I thought it was outstanding. It's still one of my favorite movies. I just saw it a month ago on Turner Classics. That's just a fun movie. Storyline's excellent. It's my favorite storyline of Robin Hood. They've had different ones come out, probably more true to whatever reality there is to that lore. There is some fact base in it.
Yeah, don't you think? I think that there was probably a Robin Hood.
Yeah, right. And it's just, there's lore, so there's some fact to it. I'm not saying I'm an expert. I'm far from it. So they've had different versions of it. Errol Flynn's still my favorite. It hits the point of not being an a-hole. You shouldn't be an a-hole.
swashbuckler.
He had the best. That's when I fell in love. I'll tell you when I fell in love with movies. You're gonna laugh, but then it gets to Errol Flynn eventually. King Kong and King Kong the original. It's one of the first movies I ever remember. I always was fascinated.
Okay.
King Kong, 1933.
Did it scare you?
No.
Okay.
It's all stop, whatever that's called. It took a long time.
Stop motion.
Right. So the monster, they look sort of real. Now you can tell it's a little, but as a kid, and it still holds up. That movie still holds up. And that's when I fell in love with movies. And then you get King Kong and Godzilla with the suits. I didn't care. It was King Kong and Godzilla. I love that. But then, PBS used to have movies every Saturday. So in the winter, if it was really cold out, I was like, screw that. I ain't going out. You go out, you play a little bit, and like, I'm cold. I'm going back in. Especially if your friends decide to, like, what are you going to do? It's really cold out. And you had enough to go in.
Cold.
Right? And PBS on Saturdays in the afternoon would do matinee at the Bijou. You get a movie, but before that was like they gave you a movie experience of the 30s up until the late 50s. Meaning you'd see a cartoon. You're sitting at home, you'd see a cartoon. You see Flash Gordon again, cheesy as hell. I loved it. You literally saw the little ships on strings. It was awesome. Yeah, it was awesome stuff. And Ming the Merciless, dude, that guy looked like Ming the Merciless. It was awesome. And they. Buster Crabtree, who no one knows in the chat probably, and Bud W might. I know OG might, and some other people might. He looked like Flash Gordon, and then I had read some comics, and that's the way I visualized it. He looked exactly like Flash Gordon. I love that movie. It's cheesy. I love Flash Gordon from that. Was that early '80s, late '70s? I like
late
that.
'70s, I think.
I remember telling my friends, my friends were like, "Are you crazy?" I go, "I like that movie better than Star." At the time, as a kid, I was like, "That movie's as good as Star." My friends were like, "You're nuts." I just love Flash Gordon. I love the whole cheesiness of it. The Birdman, I just loved it. I watched the cartoon on Saturdays. There was a cartoon on Saturdays. Flash Gordon's awesome. It's like the most violent thing on TV. Like, this is great.
That's cool. That's cool.
Now we'll come to an end. And we'll get to Looney Tunes.
All right.
Now, besides Bugs Bunny, because that's my favorite Looney Tunes character. And I'll tell you, if anyone's ever down and you're not feeling happy, go on YouTube, type Bugs Bunny and square dancing or Bugs Bunny and the Hillbillies. That is one of the funniest cartoons known to man, as Tobias, Alejandro, Yosemite Sam. They all had great characters. Every character was in the ones I've seen. I'm not talking about new characters and stuff like that. They were funny. The stuff they did was fun. And that was not, those cartoons were for kids, but they weren't really for kids.
The Yosemite Sam, there's a compilation on YouTube. I don't even know. It might be 15 or 20 minutes.
Really?
And it is so funny. Like I've watched it I embarrassingly amount of times. But yes, laugh out loud, hold my stomach. Sam the Hessian. Like it just constant. Like he does all those and cussing out the rabbit, and so good, so good.
I have to check that out. Then the other classic. I mean, Bugs Bunny. There's if you're able to see the older ones, not the ones from the '60s, which were still funny, the ones prior to that you will never see those again because of the content.
With the Gremlins.
Oh my, that's okay. I was in shock the first time because no one ever got the best of Bugs Bunny when I was watching. Then you see the older ones. Every once in a while, the Gremlin got the best of Bugs Bunny. I was like, I'll never forget the first Bugs Bunny when it was one of I saw the very first one. He was really an annoying character. You wanted him dead. And then,
actually, I was kind of mad that Elmer Fudd was such an idiot.
Right, because he was such an annoying character.
Shoot that damn rabbit! Shoot him!
Then they turned him into the suave, likable rogue. Right. And it was just because they basically did a Woody Woodpecker to the extreme. And I never liked Woody Woodpecker because he was extremely annoying. And there's a couple of
Daffy Duck was super crazy like that too in the beginning.
Yes. Oh. And if you
he was cuckoo, but I still loved him.
If you ever get a chance, again, you'll never see these unless it's on Turner Classics. They're the only ones who got the balls to show them. The ones they did for World War II, the propaganda cartoons, are freaking hilarious. Now, if you're easily offended, why? But anyway, that's you. Not you, but I'm saying.
No, I know.
If you're easily offended, you're not going to like these. They're poking fun of Japanese, Germans, and Italians because that's who we were fighting in World War II. Okay, but they're really funny. They're really well done. And spoiler alert, I'm Italian American. They didn't bother me. So.
So good. So good.
But the ones there's talking about someone getting the best of Bugs Bunny. So remember how they used to team up characters? And this was Porky Pig and Daffy Duck. And I think you can find this on YouTube. I don't know the name of the Captain Carl says Foghorn Leghorn. He was awesome. We'll get to him in a moment. But so they're in a hotel and they can't pay the bill. So Porky Pig and Daffy Duck are trying to sneak out and they're constantly getting caught without paying the bill. So at the end of the cartoon, they go, you know who could get us out of this? And they start talking about, remember when he did this and he got out of that? Remember when he dropped the anvil on so? And you're sitting there going, they're talking about Bugs Bunny as a kid, right? They pick up the phone. They do a split screen. You know the old phones, like you hold the, and this?
Yeah, with the cord.
Yeah. But they're holding this and they're holding that, like two separate pieces, right?
Right.
Like the thing that looks, and you talk. Anyway, so they pick up the phone, they're talking, they go, Bugs, is that you? Yeah. He goes, hey, we have a problem. We're in this hotel. I'm paraphrasing. We have a problem. We're in this hotel. We can't get out. He goes, hey, did you try this? Yeah. You try, and he's going through all the routines, right? And he tells him, doesn't work, does it? He goes, how did you know? I'm in the room next door. And that's how the cartoons end. He tried all the same tactics. It was just funny the way they ended. It was classic.
I don't know that one, and I know a lot of
that is again, he's only in it in that little. It was clever. They did a cameo with Bugs. It was funny.
Yeah, Daffy and Porky are a classic duo. I love
Duck Dodgers
and Drip Along Daffy.
Oh yeah.
Anyone for tennis?
Did you? Yeah. So did you ever? They shot him. Did you ever see the one? Anyone for the bear?
I hate you.
You're despicable.
You're despicable.
Then the classic, duck season, rabbit season.
Rabbit season. No, you should go home and shoot me first.
Yeah.
Just shoot me now.
Right.
Shoot me now.
They did two different versions of that. They're both hilarious. And then at the end, Daffy, in the first version, is so pissed off that he constantly gets shot. He goes, I'm a fiddler crab. Shoot me. Shoot me. I'm a dirty mongoose. Shoot me. Shoot me. Those are the best cartoons. There's nothing that tops those. Nothing to make you laugh.
No, and that's, I got a lot of my vocabulary and classical music.
Yes.
From those cartoons.
They had a line.
Not just the opera ones and but I mean,
oh my baby.
Learned a lot.
Oh my dog. Yeah, ragtime.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. They did a line.
Learned a lot.
They did teach you a lot. They did a line on Seinfeld that actually mentions that, where Elaine turns to Jerry. Did you learn all your culture from Bugs Bunny? Yeah.
Yes.
I did too. I'm not lying. Barber.
That and Schoolhouse Rock.
Oh, Schoolhouse Rock.
If only college would have been in cartoon music.
Oh my God, Schoolhouse Rock
was. I'd be a doctor.
The only one as Comics with Bueller's like, Al, you're still going. He goes, Al, you are still going. You the man, my friend. Well, you're having fun with Moni G.
Hello, Comics.
Great channel, Comics with Bueller. So
yeah, thanks everybody, and thank you, Al. This has been so fun.
We're gonna go out at 1:30. I think, unless you want to go a little anyway. But
you know what? I'm game.
So
what?
It's a marathon. So it's you remember the one with the frog?
Yes, of course I do. And he's like this. He's got the frog and he's like kicking his legs, like trying to do it.
You wouldn't sing when anyone was around.
Yeah. And then even into space, the guy's like
at the end, yeah.
Because he talks about Michigan, right? Yeah. Because I'm from Michigan, so that means everybody does the Michigan right.
The
my baby.
Then again, because I like boxing. Him and the Crusher boxing was just
The Crusher.
then,
Oh my God, I love the Crusher.
and then they do the wrestling one, which is
Yep.
the same thing.
The Masked Marvel, isn't he? The Masked Marvel, and he goes like this.
Yeah.
And his,
Yeah, but remember with the slingshot? Hey boy, hold this. Yeah. He shoots a boulder at him. That was just.
And then
that was just.
I'm feeling mighty low.
Why don't you just lay down, Crusher? Just put your shoulders on this nice mat. Just put them down. Just take a nap, Crusher. Just take a nap.
All right. And he pins him, and he pins his.
He literally pins his shoulders. Then the other one, the bullfighting one. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. That there's nothing better.
So good.
Oh,
so good.
So good.
And then,
the barber
where's that his head?
It was the hair of Seville. So
good.
Oh my God, classic. Oh, Tobias Alejandro says Schoolhouse Rock. Beans and rice is nice.
Yep.
LOL.
Beans and rice.
You know which
Sometimes even Mama serves them twice.
You know which one I remember is the there's two. I'm just a bill, just a lonely bill, sitting here on Capitol Hill. And then the other one was conjunction. What's your function? Now the one
up words and phrases and clauses.
Sing it, Moni.
Conjunction, junction. What's your function? I'm gonna get you there if you're very careful. I love that. Out of the frying pan and into the fire.
The only one I didn't like, I can't say I didn't like, it was my favorite, I'll say. Figure 8 drove me, it was just so slow. The girls
if you could make a figure 8, it would
they were
be
well
great.
done though. Now let's see if you
3
remember.
is a magic number. And
that was a good one.
And 5, 10, 15, 20.
20
That's
25.
how I learned my 5.
Yeah, absolutely.
35, 40.
It was brilliant. Brilliant.
Yep.
Then they also had after that, like during the Schoolhouse Rock stuff, the other commercial, it's funny, the nutrition they taught you is like, they'll tell you is all wrong now. But it was a guy.
But
like,
cheese, the one
cheese
about.
Oh, it was awesome. I'm like, I love cheese to this day. I don't care what my doctor says.
Hey, you know what? I know that by heart.
That was some fun stuff.
Time for timer. Hey there, partner. Oh my gosh, hold on. I'll have it.
But those were like cartoon commercials between the cartoons. That's how you stayed riveted to the TV.
Yeah.
Time for time.
Yeah, well,
time for timer.
Yeah. Yeah, time for healthy after school snacks.
Okay.
Now some weekend when it's raining and your mother is complaining.
Remember they
standing around and twiddling your thumbs.
Oh, Captain Carl, Zero is my hero. That was another good one. Zero is my hero. Yeah, it was all good stuff. You remember when they taught me how to make the homemade popsicles. You put toothpicks in the thing. I swear to God, as soon as that was over, I'm like, Ma, let's make popsicles.
You'll have a fun time making sunshine on a stick.
Yeah, all great stuff. That was awesome. In between throwing large shots and big rocks at each other, we made popsicles as kids.
Jarts were super fun. Luckily I never saw anyone impaled with one, so I don't have any really bad memories of them.
We threw them at everything except what we were supposed to. So
okay, no, because my dad is Safety Al. So
no, that's good. I'm not saying we're kids. If we could pick it up,
you're boys. You see, that's the difference, boys.
If we could pick it up, I told this before. We would go down. We played by the train tracks. I shit you not, right? Never got hit by a train. Again, this was a freight train, not in a passenger train. I don't recommend.
And you never got a licking?
No, they never knew we played by the train tracks. No.
Everybody played by the train tracks?
Yeah, we used to go down. They had the big rocks. We'd go down there, make teams. And we had our rules. Right? You can't hit anyone in the head or in the nuts. Those were the rules. And then other than that,
those are good rules.
You'd split up and you'd have a rock fight. And you were so busy
Shut up! You guys threw real rocks at each other?
Yeah, the ones by the train tracks. They were cool.
Oh my God.
I'm not lying. We did this.
No.
Not all the time. You had to be
bad.
You had to be in that weird mood, like you want to throw rocks at each other.
Rocks hurt.
Yeah, rocks do hurt.
Especially those big rocks by the railroad tracks.
Yeah, well, the point is no one ever stood still quick. You weren't lining up. You were like running. You're like, yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
No, we'd just like shoot with sticks and stuff, man.
No, we made rubber band guns. It was hilarious. Everyone in our neighborhood had a garden basically, right? And so when they went,
did you have real slingshots?
No, we made ours. But what we did, some people had real slingshot. We had BB gun wars. I mean, so you'd have like 8 kids in the neighborhood.
You shot other kids with BB guns?
When someone let me borrow a BB gun, yes, because I got shot with a BB gun. This was the classic. Again,
ouch.
This is a stupidity we had as kids, which is funny because none of us died. It's incredible, right? So, like, you'd split up.
Helmets.
You'd split up into teams, right? So now we have our makeshift, what we call rubber band guns, where you would take, the clothespins, the ones that shut like this.
Yeah.
And there's a metal thing. We used to rip them out, and we get these long pieces of flat wood that people used to use in the garden, right? If they had extra, and you put a nail at one end, you nail in a clothespin at the other. We used to buy these long rubber bands at the store, and parents would get pissed, like, where are all the clothespins? I don't know, because you're ripping them apart.
Clothespins and the garden stakes. Hey.
Yeah, and you're ripping them apart to get the metal things, right? To shoot, okay? And
you were shooting the metal?
Yeah, the rubber band would snap it, and that hurt. So what would happen is you'd only have so many kids with BB guns, and then you had this, right? So you would even off teams. It'd be funny, like, okay, Billy and Joe, we have to be on separate teams. They have BB guns, right? And
so wait, did anybody get a BB stuck in them?
I got hit right here.
And did it go in your skin? Did you have to dig it out?
No, it made like a mouse. I told my parent, it was literally like, you'll shoot your eye. I said, I got stung by a bee. So, because they're like, what, were you playing BB gun wars? Like, no. Because
they know you were.
Of course they knew I was. I was a mischievous child.
You're so naughty.
But here's the thing. Don't do this, people. If anyone says, hey, see if they're still there, say, no, I'm not. I literally stuck my head out for a second.
See if they're
it's like a cartoon. See if they're still there.
You look.
Well, because we had the argument. You look. And the kid's like, I looked last 2 times. I'm like,
that's when you're supposed to go like this.
Yeah, exactly. Well, when you're a kid, you don't know. I literally stuck my head around the garage, right? And you're foobarred, right? Because there's Joey Rinaldi waiting for someone to stick your head. I remember going, bing! You get hit.
You don't need one.
Bitch. I got caught right here. Yeah. The other thing we did, I've told this, I don't know if you remember, we dug a tunnel. This was the stupidest thing we ever did. So we didn't want to climb the fence into the Rinaldi's yards anymore, right? So we were like, we'll dig a tunnel. We dug a tunnel under the fences. It was actually pretty good, but now and I'm going to blame The Great Escape for this one, because we all saw The Great Escape. And we wanted
I was going to say it was no Great Escape.
No, but what we did was we found some wood at Tony's house, and we propped up the tunnel because it kept collapsing in. And we would crawl through this. And for 3 days, no one finds the tunnel, right? Because we kind of covered it up. Bill's stepfather goes in the backyard, right? Sees something.
You guys were
right through, because he kind of like stomped on it. And he went right through. And he literally went down like, I don't know, like we dug it down. We dug it deeper than we thought. And he was screaming at us out. He goes, do you know you guys could have got trapped in that thing? We're like, oh, we propped it up. He goes, did you watch The Great Escape?
No, we're expert builders.
Yeah. And then he goes, did you watch The Great Escape again? I'm like, no. Yes. If we saw it on TV, we were going to do it. That's what we thought.
Oh my gosh. That's funny.
We did all kinds of stupid things as kids.
Shoot. No, we were pretty. Well, I did stupid things too, but no, we didn't. I would have gotten in trouble for that stuff.
Oh, I got in trouble a lot. When I saw neighbors coming to my house, I'm sitting there trying to figure out what should I say? Like, that's Mr. Smith. What did I do over by his house? Oh, yeah. Then I used to,
Did you guys have woods by your house? Did you go play in the woods?
No, my uncle had woods. No, we didn't have woods. We'd go down to the train tracks, there's a ball.
Oh, okay.
There's a ball field. It wasn't in the woods though. I mean, you could.
Right.
We would walk the train tracks in the winter to get to the pond that was in the suburb. We lived in just on the outskirts of the suburb, and we'd play ice hockey against the kids in the suburb, which was hilarious because we'd go there and we go like, now remember, hit them hard with the sticks. And we actually became friends. But we played pond hockey, which was a lot of fun.
Right on.
And the worst thing the worst thing about pond hockey was putting your boots back on because your feet were freezing after.
Oh yeah.
But that was fun stuff. So. Anyway.
Yeah, but you couldn't walk home in your skates.
No. I couldn't skate well anyway. Things I would never do now. You have to understand we're playing again. How hard could we hit the puck? Not that hard, but you'd always have one kid who could hit the puck, slap the puck pretty hard, and no equipment basically. And we're diving at pucks, no helmets, and like it's amazing we didn't get killed. It's amazing.
I know.
Then you get to that age where you smarten up. I'll never forget the last time I played tackle football without equipment.
And it hurts.
And no one wants to quit, right? Right? And everyone's sitting there going. Then finally, someone goes, "I've had enough." And we're all in college, and the guy goes, "I had enough." And I'm like, well, if you don't want to play anymore,
I know, cool. Everybody.
Wow. And I played like 2 years in the Western Mass football, the touch league, which basically it's one hand touch, but other than that, you're creaming everybody. I'm not the biggest human being, so we'd go when you went down on kickoffs. That was the worst because every guy who was pumping iron and doing steroids were like seeking you out to plant you 6 feet under, and they hated us because we could get around them and get the tag. But I lost my tooth.
Oh, playing football?
Yeah.
As an adult?
Yeah. My mouthpiece it fell out in the dirt. I went to grab it and say, hey, get me off the field. And they were like, no, stay on. And they called the play, and I had to go on a I played like a rover, not like I was like I'd either go back in coverage or you go on the blitz. You go on to rush the passer. And I'm like, get me off the field. And they're like, no. And then I'm like, so I had it in my hand. And the ref looks at me and goes, put your mouthpiece back. I know they would throw a flag on you if you didn't have your mouth. And like, it's all full of dirt. I'm like, oh, fuck. And so I pretended, and it was gross. I took it out real quick. And I was rushing. I spun. My friend Peter had this spin. He was much quicker than I'm a slow Caucasian when it comes to that, right? So I'm watching. He's been trying to show me this, like you go into the big guy and you spin off him real quick. You go around him. Well, it worked. The problem was there was another large human being waiting to plant me 6 feet under, and he put his freaking forearm elbow in it, and my tooth. Actually, that fell out a few years later, but he chipped all my teeth. I remember spitting them out, going, "You mother!" And he's like, laughing. And I remember Pete going, "Oh yeah." I played 2 years of that, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm done with this." It was fun for 2 years, but because I played football in high school.
That's not fun when you start breaking your teeth, man. Yeah. That's when it's like, hey, I need those. That's not cool.
And one year, the dentist goes, "Hey, you want to get that fixed?" I go, "Sure. How much?" They tell me, "No, I'll live with it. If it was in the middle, maybe I can live with it over here." But, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Man.
So
why does the dentist cost so much?
I don't know. And then why do they? I mean, again, regardless of what you think of Bill Cosby, that routine that he does with the dentist, that's the way the dentist is. They shoot you with a needle and they want to talk to you.
Oh my gosh. Don't get me started on himself, because that is the best stand-up routine. I know. Why does he have to be such a creep? But he's fucking funny.
Let's disregard the creepiness. That from Toronto, that special is from Toronto. He's on for almost 2 hours, if not more. And it's Bill Cosby himself, and he's just telling stories. And I related to every story he told because it's about a family unit.
Yep.
I grew up in a family unit. Those stories, I don't care that he's African. I related to every story. I'm like, my God, that's like this. That's like that. That's what made it funny. You could relate to it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, at the end, but Dad, I'm Jesus Christ.
I know. GD, I told you to get in here, but Dad.
My
I'm not GD. I'm JC.
Yeah. Then the other one. My dad's favorite game is? Come here and pull my finger. That's how he ended.
With the elephant running across the room. So good. I don't
know, but there's an elephant that just lifted Dad like 3 feet off the chairs or something.
That is great. Give us the chocolate cake.
Yeah,
And
good
grapefruit juice.
It was healthy. If you think about it, it was healthy.
Yeah. They're not your kids. They're not your kids.
It was good stuff.
So good.
Yeah.
So good. Well, thank you, Al. This has been so awesome. I mean, I love everything we're talking about.
So we're going to go out with Planet of the Apes talk because no one's left. So I'm going to talk about Planet of the Apes.
Oh, Planet of the Apes. He's going to torture me with some. Okay, then you're going to have to talk to me more after that because I can't go to sleep with that.
No, it's not anything bad. So it's the nerdy stuff.
It's disturbing in my little head.
It's not. All right, then we won't talk about it.
No. I want to hear it. No.
So Planet of the Apes. This is the nerdy, like you're talking, like the extras you find out about. I'll just tell you the quick story. It's one of my favorite Charlton Heston stories. He does Planet of the Apes. The movie's extremely popular. Okay, not gonna even. It's just a very popular. The first one's extremely well done. Now, he wasn't expecting. They weren't expecting to make a second one. This was the first sci-fi movie to really make money, and it was shocking because no one wanted to touch this movie. When you find out all this, Paul Newman had this movie for a while, right? The book. They wanted to adapt the book, which I read finally, and no one wanted to do it. I mean, gorillas driving cars, this and that. So finally, Paramount, it's Paramount, I believe, whatever. The studio, one of the studios said, we'll do the movie, right? But we can't have, they can't drive cars, this and that. So the guy who did the Twilight Zone wrote for Planet of the, and they had a lot. I always get his name mixed up. Sterling. Is it Sterling? Rod Sterling? Yes.
I think that's right. Yeah.
And there's other couple of good writers. So they wrote different scripts. And then they come up, we like this. Okay. So the movie happens, great movie, does tremendous at the box office. The interesting thing about that is they wanted a G rating. And a G rating then to a G rating now is completely different because it just is. So they wanted the G rating because they wanted the kids to keep coming back and back. So they told them you got to have a G rating. Right. So they did it. And again, the movie's the G rating is a different then than it is now because there's violence in this movie.
It has to be no blood, right?
No, they had blood. It's just different now. Again, there's blood in if you look at the rating, it's PG. In the day, it's G rated. I'm not lying to you. So they get the rating. Now that the movie is successful, they can't believe how successful. And so now they go back. They go, we want to make another one. And they're like, okay. Now they go, call Charlton Heston. And we got to get him back. So they go, okay. The guy calls Charlton Heston up. He goes, and he just came off doing Omega Man, which is like the Will Smith movie, I Am Legend. It's the same story, Last Man on Earth kind of thing.
Okay.
Omega Man's the same. It's I Am Legend, basically. It's the same book. It's just a different, in the early 70s. Again, that thing's PG. There's nudity. There's violence. I sat there and went, how the hell is this PG? And then again, if you look at it now, they give it an R rating. But if you look up originally, it's like PG. It's hilarious, right? And he goes, no, I don't want to do the movie. I don't want to do the movie. They go back. He doesn't want to do the movie. I'm like, what do you mean? We got to have him back. We're doing a second movie. He's the main character. So they call him. The guy calls him again. Goes, you got to do the movie. He goes, all right, kill me in the first scene. They're not going to go for that, Chuck. I can't kill you off in the first scene. All right, I'll ask. Again, now they make you can't kill off the main character in the first scene. No one will come to see the movie. They go back to this is where the funny part, at least I find amusing. So now Chuck, we can't kill you in the first scene. So he goes, they start talking about it. And Heston goes, well, I don't know. I really don't want to do the movie. So now the guy goes, listen, I came up with an idea. You disappear in the first scene. We kill you off in the last scene. I like it. And he goes, and then Heston says in the story, the way I've read it, and I've seen it be told, he goes, you don't even have to pay me. He goes, whatever you're going to pay me, we'll donate to whatever charity. And that's what he did. That's the story that I've seen people tell. We'll donate. He goes, because he's in the movie literally 10 minutes. He disappeared. At the end, he comes back and he dies in the end. But
he'll always be Moses to me.
But there's the other funny part I want to get to. I saw 10 Commandments before I saw Planet of the Apes.
Right.
As a kid, 10 Commandments is on every year.
Every Easter, yeah.
Yeah. Now it's not an Easter, you know, it's because it's Jewish, but we watched it. It's a good movie. It was entertaining. It was my parents were like, you gotta watch this movie, so we watched it. And then you get what was the one we come on, the robe or something like that, whatever. Anyway, the story of Jesus. And so, and again, 10 Commandments is not the most, but so now the first time my parents take me, there was a drive-in, and these do double features. And my dad and my mom used to love James Bond movies, right? So the first movie was Planet of the Apes, and this is like in the early you know, it's already been. The movie was made in '68 or went out in '68 or '69, whatever. So I'm talking whatever. As I must have been like, I remember going to the drive-in, and I remember the gorilla, and I fell asleep. That's all I remember. So then when it came to TV, I finally get to see the movie, and the first words out of my mouth are, "Hey, that's Moses." My dad started laughing because every once in a while, I mean, he used to say, "You watched the movie with Moses?" Because that's what I. And the thing with Planet of the Apes was, every time they made a movie, it was successful more than they thought. So they kept making sequels, but they kept cutting the budget, so they would get cheesier and cheesier. So anyway, that's my.
So are you a big sci-fi fan in general?
I'll tell you the sci-fi, yes, but not the Thing, the original Thing, the Kurt Russell Thing, and then the prequel. I think they made it in 2010. What they did was they did did you ever see the Thing with Kurt Russell?
I think I've seen it once.
It's early 80s. There's a scene where they go to a different scientific camp or whatever you want to call it. And then that's where they find the being, the being, right? They took that concept in the prequel and they tell you what happens there. It was awesome. And the lead character is a woman scientist, and it's absolutely fabulous, that movie. And I'll tell you the other great thing that they did. I had not seen the movie. My friend saw it before me, and he said, "You'll never guess how they ended the movie." And I said, "Well, they ended the movie at the start of where the Kurt Russell one happened." I said, "That's what I would do." He goes, "Did you see them?" I go, "No, that's just," and that's how they ended the movie with the beginning of the next movie with them chasing the dog, trying to kill it because the dog's infected. The dog, they have to kill the dog to try to stop the spread of.
Oh, that's terrible.
You would kill the dog too. Come on.
Oh.
Anyhow,
sure. If I was part of like the Empire, maybe if
the dog is infected with blood, that will infect everyone and make them into killing everybody. You're gonna kill the dog.
Isn't that like what quarantine is for? That's what you do with the dog with the rabies.
No, it doesn't matter.
Come on.
Go back and watch the Thing. You'll kill the dog. Believe me. But you just remind me of the scientist in the first one.
Remember Old Yeller? That's the saddest movie.
That's a set. That and The Yearling. You remember The Yearling?
I didn't see that.
The Yearling is with. It's the one with the deer and Gregory Peck.
Ooh,
where the kid.
So good.
Yeah, the kid makes the deer his pet, but you can't have a deer as a pet because it keeps eating eats the stuff on the farm.
The garden.
Yeah.
It eats the whole garden.
Yeah, and then they're like, you got to kill it. Yeah, I don't want it. Yeah, it's another one of those happy movies.
Terrible. Oh, wait, Gregory Peck, The Omen. That is wow.
That movie.
Wow.
That movie. Now you're gonna. Now I won't be able to sleep. I'm gonna have to watch Looney Tunes. That movie scared the shit out of me as a kid.
It is so. See, and I don't like horror. I like suspense movies, but I don't like the slasher movies. And one of my best friends, he made me watch all the Godfathers. He's like, "You haven't seen these?" Like my lack of movie knowledge, like
you gotta watch.
Watch all these old movies. So I watched all three of the Godfathers with them, and then we watched all three Omens too. And he figured out when we watched those together that all of his adult fears came from his parents. Also took him to the drive-in. We went and saw Herbie the Love Bug when I went to the drive-in.
I watched Herbie the Love Bug. That was
yeah. But his parents took him to the Omen, and he remembers watching that. And like he was little, like
I watched the Omen. I watched the first time I saw The Omen, 4 o'clock. Again, 4 o'clock movies, they would never, well, they probably, I mean, it's different now, but I tell about the movies, and I remember watching, I'm like, this shit's scary. I don't like this. Because the classic, I did this for you, Dame, and I'm like, Remember, he killed his mom. He killed his mom.
Well, I know
I hated that little kid. I was like, just kill him.
Well, just the whole devil aspect, because I believe in that whole.
But the whole concept. Here's the
heaven,
thing.
hell. It's like so because a lot of
the-
my friends like they didn't believe in that shit, so they're like, "Oh, come on, it's all
Yeah,
just stupid." And I was like, "Yeah, no, it's not,
Now-
dude. I believe it's real, so this is extra scary for me, and it
the
is."
The concept of that, because now you have ultimate evil in a child, right? And no one believes like you should kill the child, so everyone thinks you're crazy that you have to kill the child. And that was the one. Now the third one was probably one of the stupidest, and I actually watched that because at the end, the hand of God finally has had enough and says, "Ah, bam!" and kills the devil. I went, "Why didn't you just do that?"
I barely
in movie
remember
number
it.
one? If you go back and look, it's literally the hand of God. I'm not joking. Comes down and goes, "Yeah, enough." He goes, it's not the first one's a well done movie. I won't watch it again. I've seen it. I don't need to watch it. That's like The Exorcist. I've watched it once all the way through, and that's enough. I will not watch that. That movie's scary. Again, is it cheesy now for certain scenes? Dude, that's
no, I think it's still very disturbing and scary. And like
that
they
music,
said, oh, well, then you should see the new Exorcist. And I'm like,
no.
Why would I ever see that?
Yeah, because that music is haunting. That whole theme is excellent. You sit there and you go, for me, that's just for me. That's wow. Yeah, no, I don't like those movies. If I can't shoot it to kill it, I don't want to watch it.
but Gregory Peck, yeah, he's a good cowboy too.
Yep. He played. There's so many. It's funny to see these guys playing these old movies. I'm like, wow, I never saw that movie, and I saw a lot of movies. With the Western Channel, there's a lot. You know who's in a ton of westerns on the TV shows, and I kind of knew this, but until you remember the original Star Trek, Dr. Bones, DeForest Kelly, he is in a gazillion every time he's like, I'm like, that's Dr. Bones. It's funny. So
yeah, I know. Like I said, I'll watch Bonanza and what's the other one?
Gunsmoke. I was
with
a Gunsmoke.
Matt Dillon. What is that?
Gunsmoke.
Right?
I'll tell you one last funny story about, and this
and
goes
there's
back.
all these guys. It's like the Love Boat. They have all these different actors every week.
The thing great about Gunsmoke was justice was served. Meaning the other thing, and then if you watch the ones from the 50s to the early 60s, the black and white ones, they touched on subject matter. I was like, holy cow. They touched on abuse. They touched on sexual assault. They touched on all kinds of things. And it was always, you waited because you knew, just give him that Marshall Dillon back. And he was a big dude. Boom!
Yeah.
Like it was, and they always had the Miss Kitty.
Miss Kitty ruled.
Yep. Yeah,
but Marshall Dillon wouldn't marry her because he was a lawman.
He was a lawman. Yeah. But Marshall Dillon, James Arness played the monster in the original thing.
Yep. That's like one of the longest running series too.
Yeah, it finally got beat out by somebody. Was it The Simpsons finally beat that out?
Probably.
Yeah. But yeah, that was on to the early 70s. I watched that reruns of that forever and ever and ever.
My dad still watches that all the time. Gunsmoke. And then Bonanza too.
and what the cool thing is, the ones that were black and white that I never saw, they're really well done. But they don't have it on any. I mean, they have it on the I think it's on the Inspiration channel, but they're the color one. The later ones, they're still all right. But I tell you,
yeah.
Have you ever seen? Have you ever seen? What the hell is this show? The Wells Fargo. That's a show. It's a Western.
Yes, I have.
It's awesome. You sit there and you go, you'd think they'd be cheesy, and they are in a way, but they're so entertaining because it's good stuff. And these guys, they had that look, and you're like, why didn't they make? Like they didn't make too many movies. You look, they were TV guys, and you're just like, well, James Gardner started off on TV. He was the Maverick. And other things.
And that was the other one too. Have Gun Will Travel. Did you see that?
Have Gun Will Travel. That was Was that Paladin?
Yeah.
He was one of those. He was a good guy who wore the black hat.
Right. Because he was always
Richard.
Well,
Richard.
he had a gun and he traveled.
Richard Boone. There was one with Steve McQueen too. Was that Have Gun with travel?
I don't know.
Steve
I've
McQueen.
seen a few of those.
Yeah. The original Grognard's still with us. He says, and yet they never came out and said Miss Kitty was a whore. You are correct.
Because she wasn't. She was Matt Dillon's lady.
She did run a entertainment.
She ran a saloon, a respectable saloon.
I'm not saying anything. I don't care what they ran.
I know. Because I know.
They were fun shows, though. Anyhow.
In Technicolor.
Yes, that was in Technicolor. It's coming up on 2 a.m. I could talk to 4 a.m. But what we'll do now, Moni, I'd like to say thank you. We have a lot of fun people in the chat. It was awesome. I deputized a ton of people. I deputized a ton of people tonight. We'll deputize some more tomorrow. We're going to do another chat with Al tomorrow with Ron and OG. And if Moni's around, maybe she'll join us. And maybe if Comics with Bueller's around. Maybe we have a big ensemble cat. Next week, it's going to be me and W. Voggs. He picked a couple of days, so he'll tell me which day. I think he wanted Thursday or Friday. We'll talk some movies.
Sweet.
Between stuff. So it was a lot of fun. And as you know, Moni, with Chats with Al, I don't have a. You can ask OG. One time it was me, Ron, and we all came, and Stratomatic Della. Oh, thank you, Tobias Alejandro, as he says, peace to you too, my friend. We actually did like a script of what we wanted to do. We didn't stick to it. I'm like, we just ad-lib everything and just have fun. Sometimes with me, I hope you enjoyed yourself. It was a lot of fun. I'd like to have you back on.
Yeah.
Movies.
So fun.
And
thank you very much.
You're a big Detroit sports fan. We didn't even touch on that.
Yeah. No, I love my Tigers, although, they came out of the starting gate with a pop and.
Yeah, they fizzled.
Yeah, it's kind of what everybody thought. But, it's always fun to ride that every once in a while.
So, Moni, you have a YouTube channel, but you don't do you do anything?
I know I have to figure out how to do that.
Well, it's the same way when you go on someone else's channel. It's the same way.
Is it?
Yes, except you do the live event. We can walk you through.
I got butterflies just thinking about that.
Oh, that's fine. No, I'm just saying. Well, you tell us where you can be found again. Lady Wolverton?
Yeah, on Thursday nights, every once in a while I hang out and do a chapter of. We're on a Clash of Kings now of
And that's about the books. The books
Fire epic thing. So that's 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central. And so we're on John next week. John 2.
And at first,
chapter 11 or 12.
Before you leave, I'd like to say thank you for being an educator. That's a tough job. And do you have the summer off, or are you doing summer school?
I do. I'm officially. This was my first week. Monday I was in, but so the rest of this week though I've been off. So it's been great.
Awesome.
Great. So I'm just getting into it now. Like I have to do all the chores that you can't do when you're working. I mean, I guess other people do when they're working, but I can't do it. So
awesome.
It's all good. It's just good to be off for the summer. It's been raining like crazy here. How about at your house?
We've had weird weather.
You're a little further east.
Yeah, in Massachusetts, we've had really weird weather. It dropped again to it's like that humid cold. When I say cold, I mean cold for summer. But we're gonna have nice weather tomorrow and Sunday. It's gonna go back to rain, so I'm gonna enjoy it as much as I can the weekend. Do my laundry thing on Saturday. That's what I do. So I listen to a lot of YouTube and stuff like that. Well, as Captain Carl says,
thank you, Al, and I stopped by in your channel.
Oh, absolutely. So, Moni, thank you very much. Thank you to the chat. Till next time, health and happiness. Take care. Bye-bye. God bless. You know what's coming, folks. Peace.